Awesome. I'm so glad to see every one of you here and welcome to our meeting. This is our, I think, fourth meeting right now, and I am your host for this evening. What is my role? My role is to make sure a meeting starts on time, ends on time, and everybody does their time. Okay, the time now is 6:17 p.m. And let me call the meeting to order. And let me introduce you the program for this evening. We will begin with the opening address, followed by impromptu speeches. Then we have a special presentation by a special guest from overseas, followed by a coffee break. Then we have the prepared speeches. There will be four prepared speeches today. And after each prepared speech, we will be asking for volunteers to give their feedback on 3 areas of the speech. So, after all the speakers have spoken, we will have a test, followed by a closing address, and then a debrief. So, let me introduce you. So let me introduce you the appointment holders. First is Willie Lowe, who is our video conference director. He is the reason why we can have online meetings for Agora. So I would really like to appreciate and thank him. Willie is the president of Fuchun Toastmasters Club. He's a very active Toastmaster in the Toastmasters movement. He's a visionary who is a pioneer for online Toastmasters Club meeting. Let's welcome Willie. And the fourth person I'd like to introduce, who is not any less important, is the timekeeper. I would say he's one of the most important people in the meeting because he will cut short your time if you fail to do your timing right. So custom is closely associated with the Singapore startup ecosystem, supporting companies and founders realize their vision. He built and scaled his deep tech startup. Today, he works for a HR technology startup managing their operations, product development, and strategic collaborations. He also mentors and advises many startups across diverse spectrum on their product and go-to-market strategies. On a personal front, he champions healthy living along with like-minded compatriots in Singapore and outside. Let's give a big hand to Costa! All right. So today's meeting focus is to be back to basics. Okay, we shall be focusing our feedback on whether the speaker told us what he promised to tell us, whether the content of the speech made sense, and whether the body led logically to the conclusion. So as an audience, you have a very important role to play. And what is your role? Is to provide nurturing and supportive environment. And how would you do that? Is by encouraging the speakers, by clapping our hands when the speakers are introduced and clapping our hands when they have finished. Let's practice. Very good. And to also remember to smile so that the speakers are not tense and can speak well. And to nod our heads if we agree with them. So, do your part as an audience. Now, let me invite to you the speaker for the opening address. The opening address will be presented by Gay Chong Lim. So the timing allotted to him is 5 minutes. At 3 minutes, the green light will flash. At 4 minutes, the yellow light, and the 5 minutes, the red light. After 5 minutes, he has only 30 seconds to wrap up the session. And otherwise, there will be an audio reminder. I would like to, before I begin, I would also like to let you all know that today we are going to be very, very strict on timing. And if you do not follow the timing, we will just mute you. So we would not like to do that. So I hope you will keep to your timing because we really would love to hear you speak. So let me introduce you to Chong Lim. Chong Lim is currently networking at Amgen, a pharmaceutical company in Tuas, making drugs to treat osteoporosis. He is considered an essential worker during this circuit breaker time due to Amgen being a key economic sector. Chong Lim, Chong Lim has attended Agora for over 1.5 years now. He has attempted almost every role in Agora and strongly encourages everyone to do the same. He has been the MC, timekeeper, delivered prepared speeches, closing address, and even hosted the impromptu speech. Today, he will try his hand in delivering the opening address. Let's give a warm welcome to Chong Lim.
Hi everybody, good evening. Hope everyone can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if that's okay. Awesome. All right, thank you Rehana for the introduction. Now, why are we all here at Agora? I'm sure this has been repeated many times, but let's have a quick reminder now that we have over 30 participants and from many, many different places as well. I can't even fit all your faces onto the screen at one time. So if I miss out some people, that is why. All right. We are a community of friends helping friends succeed. So if you have attended Agora before, you know that this is a very encouraging environment. We're here to learn from each other, learn from our own mistakes, and improve for next time. And since we are so welcoming, we are never shy to do our best, put ourselves out there, and get the honest feedback for improvement. Who disagree with me? Anybody? Okay, good. I just scrolled through 3 pages to see a lot of shaking heads. I like that. Very good. All right. Now, since we are in this circuit breaker times, nobody can go out. So now everybody can attend Agora from your phone, from your laptop. Correct or not? Who got excuse cannot attend? No phone. Ah, now even better. Save $5. Agree or not? Save $5. Don't need take MRT, go Tanjong Pagar some more. Very good. All right. So what this means? This means you can invite your friends. It's just a link. It's very simple. Install the app, register, click the link, and then you too can be part of the growth of Agora Singapore. Correct? Who do I friend one? Who do I friends? I don't have. I haven't bring my friends here yet. All right. So finally, we at Agora, we are here to help people become the person we want to be so that they can live the life that they dream of. As you can see from the introductions, there are many people here who are life coaches, wellness coaches, help with startups. These kind of environments that are very encouraging. They learn a lot. They have a lot to teach you, and you have a lot to learn from them. So we're all here to learn and build your network. Don't be shy. Talk to all these people. They are very helpful. I've learned a lot myself coming here. And I hope that you can do the same. All right. One little extra tidbit I have here is, who here knows what Agora means or where the word comes from? I'm pretty sure maybe my dad has mentioned it before. If anybody wants to chip in, you're welcome to do so. I'm going through 3 pages at one time, but if you want to chip in, just unmute your mic, yo. Any volunteers? Okay, I don't see anybody, so let me dig right in. So the literal meaning of Agora is a gathering place or assembly, like you know in school, your concourse, or in army, maybe your parade square, that kind of thing. It is a central public place in Greek city-states. So what do you use this for? The Agora is basically the center of life in the city, where all sorts of activities take place. This can be athletic activities, artistic activities, and even political stuff. Go and have their discussions, something similar to what we're doing now. We're gathering in a public place to speak. All right. So one use of this word you might have heard of is agoraphobia. So this means a phobic condition where you become very anxious in new places or places that are unfamiliar. So I think that's a good reminder to us, because here at Agora, we are going to overcome this. We are all here to overcome environments that are unfamiliar, that make us anxious. Correct? Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope that all of you will invite your friends, come here often, and overcome. Join Agora. Overcome environments that are unfamiliar. Learn and grow together as one big family. Thank you very much, and back to you, Rihanna.
Awesome. Let's give him a big round of applause. Wasn't that awesome? Now, I would like the timekeeper's report, please. Timekeeper?
Yeah. So he completed exactly 25 seconds before his time slot of 5 minutes.
Awesome. That is so awesome. All right. So now let's go to our next segment, which is the impromptu speech. Now, the host for this section is Samantha. The time allotted for this section is 35 minutes. At 25 minutes, the green light will be flashed. At 30 minutes, the yellow light will be flashed. And at 35 minutes, the red light will be flashed, leaving behind 30 seconds to close up. All right. So let me introduce the impromptu speech master. Tonight's speech master is Samantha Kwan. Samantha works in Gardens by the Bay with the beautiful flowers and the tall trees. Her motto is, the only victory one should win is over her own self. Must do everything better than yesterday. Now, impromptu speeches and small talks are her weakest link. She would like to take this opportunity to remind, revise, and relearn on the ways to spice up conversation. Let's welcome to the stage, Samantha!
Okay, when do we need to learn how to do impromptu speaking? Because sometimes when your boss asks you a question, you have to answer within that few seconds. You have to give him an answer, and you have to elaborate your answer. And also if your wife if you are a married man, you go havoc, and then when your wife asks you where you go, straight away you have to think of within 3 seconds, you have to think of all kinds of excuses to tell your wife. That's why you need to learn impromptu speaking. So impromptu speaking is also called speak on your cuff, because MC in the past, they always put a piece of paper at their sleeve so that they can see what to read during the event. Speeches or prepared speeches, there are things that is common. What is common? We always what things are common? When in a speech, you have opening of the speech. Same like impromptu speaking, you also have opening of the speech. Then you have a body. You elaborate on your body of the speech. Then you give a conclusion. So all speeches are the same, whether it's impromptu or prepared speech, or even evaluation. And let me announce the rule for impromptu speeches. The speakers will have 1 to 2 minutes to elaborate their speech. First minute, the green light will show, or the green card will show. 1.5 minutes, the yellow card will show. And on the second minute, the red light or the red card will show. And the speaker will have 30 seconds to wrap up his speech before the buzzer ring. So how to tackle impromptu question? First, probably the most common way is prep. We have learned that before. PREP. That means first you say the point. That means that is your introduction. Then you give reason why you support the point. Then come to E. E is an example. And then conclusion is you state your point again. Now, in our daily life or event, what are the most common event that you have to answer impromptu speeches? Can you answer me? Anybody?
Give
Hello?
Casey. Give excuses to my daughter. I don't want her to eat ice cream, so I have to give her a lot impromptu
Okay.
answers.
Yeah, give excuses. Some more, what else? What other event that you have the most impromptu questions?
Go market and bargain.
Okay. Yeah, and the most common thing is beauty contest. Beauty contest, you have a lot of impromptu questions to ask.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So these are the questions there are 12 questions altogether. Speakers, please volunteer and answer the question. Anybody? Number 3, you saw the question?
Oh.
What quality, this is for Miss World 1994. What quality should Miss World embodies? Please elaborate. This is for Miss World and Miss India 1994. What quality should Miss World embodies?
Okay, something unexpected question. I was thinking the name of the Miss World. Yeah, basically they are qualities like humanity and knowledge about the world and how they perceive and how they actually see the world in their own eyes, not just as an ordinary person, as a person who has a knowledge about what's going on in the world. And yeah, those are some of the qualities that I can see as a Miss World.
Some more? You have more to speak?
A few more. A few more is
Yeah.
immunity and knowledgeable.
Yes.
Beauty is also one of the things that they need to carry out in order to actually get into the Miss World.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Who will be the next speaker? Who want to be the next speaker? Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody? Mary, you want to try? Oh, yeah. Okay, Jeffrey. Which one? Unmute.
Mexico. Question
Mexico
one.
is question
one.
Question 1. Okay, cool. Okay, Miss Mexico. The 2020 election is around the corner. What issue would you like the candidate to address and why?
Now, I must make this response fun. The 2020 election,
Yes,
it is
it's
a
around the
big
corner.
time for everybody. Right? The issue the candidates to address is the wearing of mask. Make mask wearing compulsory beyond COVID, all the way as a lifetime practice. The reason being that it can stop us from spouting saliva at each other. It's very important because saliva, a lot of the droplets, it's not just about COVID, it's beyond that. The virus infection, and also it helps you not to breathe in other people's breath. Do you know how irritating sometimes to breathe in other people's breath and you don't know what it contains? Everything's invisible. You just don't know. So make it mask compulsory for everyone. Very important. Okay, and also for some people, you just like them to shut up their mouth, right? The moment they open their mouth, gone. Just see the eyes, wow, so beautiful, right? Cover the mouth, okay. But once you let go of the mask, I tell you, you just want to give a big discount to the face. So have the mask, very important. At least get people mesmerized by the eyes and just keep that a little mystery. Life will be much more meaningful. So candidates, let's make mask wearing compulsory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. If you look at my profile photograph of my mobile phone, I actually have a mask, and then you look at my eyes, it's very beautiful.
Wow,
Very
super.
beautiful.
Very nice. I'm mesmerized.
What's the next one?
I will do it. Lawrence here.
Lawrence, okay, Lawrence. Which question will you choose?
You choose the question for me.
I choose for you. Question 12.
Yeah,
Question 12. Wait, let me see. Question 12. If you are a pet, which animal will you want to be and why? This for Miss India 2016. If you are a pet, which animal would you like to be?
I would like to be a cat, but a special kind of cat. This is the tiger cat, which is very rare. That means the cat actually have the stripe of the tiger. And why a cat? Because a cat is graceful and a cat is quiet and a cat is independent. Ask any cat owner. The cat will just come to you if the cat like to. It's not like a dog that will wag its tail every time they see you. So the cat is also very perceptive, aware, and watching. So that's the reason why I like to be a cat and a rare cat. The Bengal cat with tiger stripe. And that's what I would like to be. A special cat for you.
Okay, very good. When you keep a dog, you have a lot of friends. When you have a cat, you have all their stuff. Okay, which question do you want to choose?
Oh dear. Number 6.
Number 6 is, okay, wait a minute. Okay, number 6 is for Miss International 1979. Which part of your body would you like to change?
Wow.
Which part of your body would you like to change?
Are we talking about the Miss International?
If you pretend that you are Miss International.
Okay. I like to put on more weight. I'm opposite of other people who are losing weight.
Why?
Because I gone through a program, but I didn't exercise for 4 years. Help that actually I lose a lot of muscle mass and weight also. So that's why I need someone to help me building weight and also muscle mass. I think I'm the rare one upon 10 who wants to gain weight for health reasons.
So how do you want to gain weight?
Okay, I have to start with a program and start eating more proteins and exercise. I think exercise plays a very important part in our system itself actually. Whether you're 16, whether you're 60s, you still need exercise. That's why I learned from 4 years apart, I didn't exercise at all. So I realized exercise is a very good program, and also your intake of the food is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to gain weight, maybe Jeffrey can help you. He can help people lose weight. He also can help people gain weight.
Yeah, I'm asking Carlton really.
Right. Next person. Carlton, you want to try? Carlton, you want to try?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah. Can you unmute your speaker? Number 7. Number 7 is for Miss Japan.
Yes, Miss Japan.
Okay. Question 7 for Miss Japan. What is the lesson you learned as a child that is affecting you now? What is a question you learned as a child that is affecting you now?
I would think that I was taught to okay, in Chinese it's called 己所不欲，勿施于人. Means to say that whatever you don't want to do, you don't do to others. If you want, what I was saying that if you want the same thing to happen to you, don't do to others. For example, if you are mean to people, people will be mean to you. So so what I'm saying is that once you know how to treat people right, people will automatically treat you right. So that's the lesson that I learned as a child that is still affecting me now. So I have to be as courteous as possible so that people will be as courteous back to me as well. So this is a lesson that I learned from life and that I will carry through life as well. I will still teach to my son and to my friends who is dear to me. All right.
Yeah, right. So what are the things you don't want? Can you give it to me? Money. Right, any more? Any more speaker who want to speak? Joseph, you want to try? Oh, sorry, I saw Bolivian, is it? How do you pronounce your name?
Yes, Bolivian.
Bolivian, yeah.
Question number 4.
Question number 4 by Miss Philippine. Are you from Philippines as well?
No, I'm from Malaysia.
From Malaysia, right. Okay. Question 4, Miss Universe and Miss Philippine, 1969. Man landed on moon. If a man from the moon landed in your hometown, what would you do to entertain him?
So first thing first, I will, of course, give him food because I think that he will eat the same food in the moon. So I'll give him like our traditional food, give him a try to our, like local food because he landed on my hometown, right? Also, the second thing is I will bring him to a few places because, of course, he'll miss this like beautiful places or maybe like beach, what else? Also, bring him to meet people because in the moon the only person that he so maybe just himself. So I want him to meet people and like talk to people because that I think he will miss that. Miss to talk to people. What else? I think that's I think that's what will I do to entertain him? Yes.
That's all? Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but during this COVID time, how do you entertain him? You can't bring him around?
Okay, so because during this COVID-19, for food, I'll just use this Food Panda, Grab food. Can use delivery food, to the places, I don't think I can do that. But why not? Because my hometown, so I'll just bring him to my garden, green view. So yeah, I'll do that.
Right, okay. Miss Philippine answer that is that Gloria, her name is Gloria. Oh, just the same thing as I do every day because I think if he has been on the moon for a long time, he'll be very boring. So when he comes down, everything for him is a change. So everything will be interesting for him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, next, anybody want to try? Lisa, you want to try?
Yes, okay. Question 2.
Question 2, Miss England.
Yes.
Right. Question 2, Miss World 2017. If you have a chance to speak to world leaders, what is the topic you would like to talk about and why? If you have a chance to talk to world leaders, what are the topics you will choose and why? What do you want to talk to them?
If I have a chance to talk to world leaders, I want to highlight the importance that with this current situation where everyone is feeling so fearful, it is so important to help people to connect to a higher intelligence, to which I call God. Because when people are uncertain about the future and they don't know what holds tomorrow, they need someone else that is of a higher intelligence, God, to help them. And that's where the emphasis on increasing one's spiritual quotient is so important, because people are becoming fearful, and that itself is even more dangerous than the COVID-19 virus. And it's really sad because we have Germany's finance minister who committed suicide because he was under so much stress of not knowing what is going to be the future economic situation in Germany, that he committed suicide. Now, this is really sad. But not only that, we have people who on the outside may seem beautiful and even well balanced, but because of the social isolation, they cannot see a better outcome. And that's where, when we are locked in our homes, it is so important that we can have someone to turn to, God, to give us strength, to know that tomorrow can be better, because this is only going to shake whatever that's being shaken of our normalities of life, to perhaps create a different world. And as such, if people have done without God, a super intelligence in their lives, that's where sometimes it's really hard.
Right. That's all. Thank you.
I thought I'm time's up, right? I just realized.
Okay, I didn't see the time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's not very obvious.
We hope that we have more citizens like you. Okay, next. Question 5 is question 5. Okay, is Miss Venezuela 2018? Social media has become a prominent factor in the way we perceive one another. Do you believe social media has had a positive or negative effect on the way we judge beauty?
Toastmasters, sorry, I shouldn't say Toastmasters, speakers at Agora. And it's our lovely president, Mr. BP, who I can't see on camera yet, but also our president of education, Casey, who I've just caught a view, myself on camera. Social media. I would answer this that it has had both a positive and negative effect. Positively, of course, we can reach out, we can communicate, we can go on board, we can excite, we can anticipate, and all of those very, very humongous aspects, avenues that we now can explore, of course. But there is, sadly, a negative effect. And the negative effect, of course, is that we are, in context of judging beauty, communicating verbally, physically, far less. How can a judge, when he's seeing a beauty contest, really understand a beauty contestant in full via social media? Without being totally physical, How can a judge really see without sort of doctoring the body, if you like? We have a word for that in social media. How can the judge really see the physique? The enormous effort that is put into keeping that beautiful feminine body. He or she, of course, on social media can see mentality, can see mindset, can see momentum, see energy, can see enthusiasm. But I'm sure that physical contact really, on a total positive avenue, cannot really replicate or replace social media. I look forward also, although I'm older and wiser, to be part of the contestants. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Penny. Actually, the way Penny answers, she have a agree positive and she also talk about negative. So this is a pendulum method of answering a question. You can say agree and disagree, positive and negative, yes or no. The two sides of a coin. Last speaker, who want to speak?
All right.
Question 9, Miss the Earth. This question 9 is for Miss Earth 2017. What is the greatest enemy in the Mother's Earth now?
Good evening, everyone. So today's topic is really an interesting one, also because of the situation that we are in now with COVID-19. For the first time ever, the world has seen a situation where planes have stopped flying, trains have stopped, buses have stopped, cars have stopped, and people are at home. And we can see clearly that man has a lot to do with what's going on in Earth. It's become a cooler place. The pollution standards have gone down. I think man can do both harm and good for the world. We can, knowing the harm or the good that we can do, there's a lot of changes that we can bring about in our lifestyle. Now, with this COVID-19, we really do see what changes, how peaceful a place the world has become. As I walk down the walkway here near my house, I see mushrooms sprouting out in the grass. It was not there before. We were all walking around playing in the grass. Now, it's such a beautiful sight to see all the plants that's grown there. So I think we by our actions can bring the greatest change in Earth, can be the best friends of the planet. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shona.
So we'll be 5 minutes before time. So
yeah.
your total time allotted was 35 minutes and we have completed in 30 minutes time.
Okay, but what about all the speakers?
Everyone completed within their 2 minutes. In fact, most of them individually has completed within 1 minute 30 seconds. Nobody actually went beyond.
Thank you.
I think Lisa is the only person who reached up to 2 minutes, but she didn't cross.
Right. Okay, let's give all the speakers a round of applause. Over to you, MC.
All right. Thank you, Samantha, for that awesome handling of the impromptu speeches. So our next agenda for the day, before I call our special guest to speak, I would like to prepare the audience to give feedback for the speakers of the prepared speeches. We shall be inviting the audience to provide feedback to the speakers. So each speaker, we will need at least 3 volunteers. You can volunteer when we call you. And the agenda for the volunteers is that the first volunteer shall address these questions. What did the speaker promise in his speech opening? What information did the speaker provide in his speech body? And what advice would you give to the speaker. Second volunteer shall address the questions. What did the speaker say in his speech opening? What did the speaker say in his conclusion? And did the body provide what he promised in the opening? And what advice would you give him? The third volunteer shall address the questions. What information did the speaker provide in his body? What did he provide in the conclusion? And did the body lead logically to the conclusion? And what advice would you like to give to the speaker? Now, so if you would like to volunteer, I would ask you to raise your hands later and provide your feedback. So let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Okay, so we have a special presentation by a special guest from overseas. But before I bring the special guest, I would like to invite Casey Chen to introduce him. Let me introduce Casey Chen to you first. Casey is the VPE Vice President of Education and Chief Operating Officer of the club to give of our Agora club. Casey graduated from RMIT with a Bachelor of Design and has been doing designs, art, and branding for more than 25 years. His works are used in many companies' brands like 1855 The Bottle Shop, Rocher, and Nestle International. He's an author, painter, sculptor, and designer. Casey has spoken as a key speaker in numerous design and art festivals, locally and international design events. He enjoys his day work as a brand consultant and also helping many in their personal grooming. He has been with Agora Speakers Club since the club started in Singapore by Mr. Gay Ban Peng 3 years ago. He has held the roles of being an MC, a timekeeper, also delivered prepared and impromptu speeches. Currently, he is serving as a VPE Vice President of Education in Agora Speakers Club. Let's invite Casey Chen to give an introduction of our special guest. Take it away, Casey.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. The next speaker is the most amazing man, Harry Sarinas. Harry is a founder of many successful global businesses, including 1. Entrepreneurs are leaders, where he trains people from all over the world to transform the world with their business. 2. Speakers are leaders, where he trains people to use their voice to transform the world. 3. Millionaire Speakers Network, where he trains people to become world-class speakers. Now, he is the co-founder of the topcoach.org.uk and the Latin American Chamber of Commerce in Europe. Harry has many years of success in empowering and helping people to develop their leadership. He has trained over 10,000 investors, micro-influencers, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs, CEOs, politicians, high net worth individuals, gold medalists, authors, students, teachers, young people from all walks of life in UK, Singapore, Dubai, Mexico, and Peru. Harry is an empowerment, public speaking, and leadership coach, an international speaker, an entrepreneur, an inspiring leader, and author of multiple books. He was invited to speak about his book at the National Achiever Congress, where over 2,000 people attended. Tony Robbins, J.T. Fox, Eddie the Age, Calvin Green were a headline speaker at the event. Now, Agora members, friends, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat tonight, as Harry is going to give us a very special presentation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please join me. Welcome, Harry. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear? If you can hear properly? Very good. Okay, first of all, I'm so happy to see all of you. Oh my God, I love to go to Singapore and to eat actually chicken satay. Is my favorite food when I go there. And I'm so happy that I feel that I'm there with you guys. So number one, I would like to thank Bam Pen for the invitation to allow me to speak with you guys. So I really want to acknowledge I organize events all over the world, and now we're doing also online the trainings, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of teamwork to make an event like that happen. So please, a big applause for Bampen. Also, I want to give a big applause for Rehana. You know, she's with a lot of energy. Oh my God, we should do it in the camera, this and that. I love that. A lot of energy. So I think Rehana have done a very good job. So clap for Rehana. And last but not least, a big clap for every single one of you. I always said, you know, public speaking is a skill. So it's like riding a bicycle or driving a car. So what that means that nobody is better than anybody in public speaking. The more you practice, the better you become. So by you showing up to the Agora meeting, I have the pleasure to be there physically in your meetings, you know, paying my $5, like you say, and going there. By you showing up to those meetings, what you're doing is you are getting better. Sometimes when you drive a car, when you started, you don't know how to drive, and after you drive, some of you even speak on the phone. Why? Because the skill that you practice so many times that now is embedded in your head. So by coming to these, showing up to these meetings, what happened is that you are getting better to develop the skills of public speaking. But now you guys, you have taken to the next level, because now you even fighting with overcome the biggest fear that a human being can have, which is public speaking. Now the complexity is over, because now you have to overcome the fear to speak in front of the camera. Something that you don't even sign up when you when you enroll Agora. Everybody you enroll Agora, you say, okay, public speaking, let's meet in the room. Now you have an extra challenge, how to speak in front of the camera. So I think that what I'm gonna share with you is some tricks, some secrets, how we can speak in front of the camera, and what can we do in order to make the speech more engaging, right? So take pen and paper, and I was thinking to give you a motivational speech, but honestly, I prefer to teach you a few things that you can use forever, right? So number one, that I want all of you to learn is how we speak in front of the camera. And number one is the engagement with the camera. There is a misperception that because when we speak in public, what we do, we speak on the eye of the person, right? This is how we make connection. Even when we're on a stage, we see one person, another person, right? Now, when we speak on the camera, the dynamic change. Why? Because we think that the eye of the camera is that when we're looking at the eye of the person is how you're making a connection, because we see. But the real truth is we are making a connection when we are looking directly to the eye of the camera. That's why when I'm speaking with you guys, all of you, you feel that I'm looking to your eyes. But actually, I'm not looking to, I see my screen, Maritime, I see Mean, I see the timekeeper, right? That's what I see. For example, I'm gonna look the eye to Mary. I'm gonna look now to the eye of Mean. I'm gonna look now to the eye of the timekeeper. So what do you think is happening? I already lost connection with you guys, right? But if I want to speak with Mary, I can say, Mary, you are amazing. Mean, you are amazing. Or timekeeper, another name. Timekeeper, you're amazing, right? Now what happened? I'm having connection with all of you. So now how we know where to look at the camera, how we know where to look at the camera is very easy. You take this finger, everybody take this finger, yes? And then you cover, you look until the whole finger cover your camera. Very good, yes? Very good. Very good. When your whole finger cover the whole screen, Yes, Min, closer to your camera, Min. Yeah, Mina, yeah, keep going, until you look, because you need to know exactly where the eye of the camera is. And when you got that point, when you're speaking, this is exactly what you look at, what you have to be looking at, because this is the connection eye to eye. Everybody with me? You have your eyes and you need to connect to this eye of the camera. This eye of the camera is the eye of all of you, right? Number two, very, very important, is lighting. Yes. Well, number two, something that I always do, I actually gonna do it with you guys here. So like this, yes, always before going to any online course, you take a piece of cloth, yes, and what you do, you wipe the eye of the camera. Why? Because sometimes you put the finger, you put this, you put that, and then you're gonna look a little bit cloudy, a little bit not clear, because you know some grease goes to the finger, and remember, whatever you put in that eye, in this eye, it will reflect on the camera, right? Now, light is extremely important. Why? There are resources in the movie. I don't know if some of you have been the Mafia movie, that Al Pacino and the Godfather and so on. And you find few resources that the movie directors, they use to make people scary, right? So one is when the light goes from bottom to top, or when the light comes from top to bottom. For example, Mary, yeah, Tom Mary, I'm looking at her, right? And she looks amazing. However, as you can see, the light is coming from top to bottom. Yes, she has the light on top of her, right? So this is the same resources that in the movie Godfather have been used to get people scared. Everybody with me? Because when you put the light from top to bottom on the light from bottom to top, yes, then what happened is it's a cinematographic effect to get people escape. But when we are online, we want to do the opposite. We want to connect. Yes. So now the light it gets the same protagonist. If number one is engagement with the camera, number two lighting, and number three is gonna be audio. Gonna speak a little bit more about audio after. So what can we do with light, right? Like you might think if I show you my setup here, you cry because I'm here in Peru. That's why it's morning here. I wake up 4 a.m. 4 a.m. to be with you guys. Yes, yeah. That's why you saw my background black, and now the background is white. And you say, what's going on? Well, what's going on is now it's around 6 a.m. here. It's just starting the day, and all this noise that you hear in my background is the birth, right? However, even down in the middle of Peru, I got stuck here. I was doing a cycle conference here, and we were doing a speaking tour. And after the third conference, the virus started, and that's it. We are locked down here. We don't know when we're coming back to UK. I live in UK, right? So even here with little resources, let me see if I can show you what I have here. Okay, I'm here in my garden, and this is, you see, this is just a lamp that we found here in that garden, right? And why I'm doing with this lamp? I just put it behind the camera, right? So I put this lamp behind the camera, behind the phone, right? So then what happened? The light, it doesn't come from the top, it doesn't come from the side, it doesn't come from the side. It comes up. You see, even if I put my hand, you can see the shape, right? Why? Because I have a light in front of me. Everybody with me? So this is what the light should be. You see, you put the light in front of you, and then what happened now, you look, for example, Mina, yes? You have a very good background light, right? But we need to lead your face a little bit more, right? And you might think, Harry, but this is not important. Well, it is. It is because when you go to a stage, right? Would you like to go to a stage like I don't know, like you don't look great, or maybe you don't have makeup, or you don't have this? Now better, much better now. Mira, everybody see the difference we have? Now the whole thing is changing, yeah? You put a light and the perception completely, now you know dark. And now people feel that they can connect with humor, right? So it's extremely important how we look online, because we are learning. This is new for everybody, and we are just learning new things about online. Yes. So online, you have to be, you imagine when you go to a meeting, what you do, well, you dress very good, you put makeup, you look very nice, and this is how you show up to a meeting, right? Here is the same thing. Not because we are online, and I have meetings with leaders, I training leaders, multimillionaires, and they showing up to meetings, and because they're at home and because it's in Zoom, now they're showing up with the teacher. Yes, and they're showing up, and this, it loses the consistency, right? Now we are in an extra challenge, how to make an impression online. And here we're practicing. Here we are getting just better and better. But tomorrow, you're going to have an online meeting with somebody else to open a business, to scale, to make a project, to develop a charity project, right? And you have to take care how you connect with that camera, how your lighting it is, and how your background, right? So in this house that I am, for example, I have 300 places that I can be, right? Actually, I'm a little bit cold, because it's morning. However, I choose this background. Why? It's the best that I can have. I have some trees in the background. I have this, for example, something very amazing that did the person that is doing the impromptu speech leading. She has a background with the beach, right? This is something that can be done in Zoom. It's free. It goes monochromatic, and you can actually, what you need to do is buy a piece of a green fabric, and you put this green fabric behind, right? If you don't have any background in your house, what you do is you get a piece of green fabric, make sure that is a stretch, yes, that stretch that fabric, and then you put it behind you. And then in Zoom, there is an option that you can substitute the green screen color for whatever image. You can also put the video, and then you look like you're in the beach. You can put the logo of your company. You can put a trees like I have, right? So play very good with your lighting and your background. And the last thing that I want to share with you, and this is something that you already practice a lot in Agora, is the tonality and the voice, right? Here is the same thing. This is the only thing that we keep same, from speaking on a stage to speaking on camera. We have three voices, yes? We have this command voice that I always said, I call it the police voice, that I said, hey you, stop there, hey you. That's a command voice. Then you have this voice for the wisdom, when you said, okay, today we're gonna learn everything for Bang Peng, right? And then you have this voice from the heart. And the voice from the heart goes like that. I'm so proud of every single one of you Singaporeans. Your level of discipline has achieved amazing results handling the crisis that we're living now. You can see how the voice goes from, hey, you stop there, to a wisdom voice, to actually give a deeper message, which I'm 100% agree. I only have 1 minute, so I 100% agree with the level of discipline, guys, that you should be proud to be Singaporeans. It's one of the first countries that is dealing with this problem, and you guys have shown a lot of discipline, a lot of this leadership. I don't want to talk about politics, but the leadership that he's going in Singapore, I'm very proud how you have performed with this situation. And that's why you don't have so many cases, because all of you are leaders. Keep showing to a meeting, keep practicing public speaking, take it to a next level. And I'm gonna join the next meetings depending of the time. And I want to see more good lighting, more good background, Some of you using vocal variety like Rihanna. So let's look amazing in camera, same like we do on the stage. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Harry. That was amazing, and I think in that short time, he managed to give us a lot of information, and I'm sure everybody benefited from that. So the time now is 7:24 p.m. Now I will call for a 5-minute break. So, and we will return at 7:29. So see you guys in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Did you have a quick, nice, good break? Yes?
Yeah.
Good.
I have.
All right. Quick drink and a trip to the loo. And back we are. All right. So welcome back. We will be proceeding to the prepared speeches in a while. But before that, let me give you a little bit of background. I will cap on what the speaker, the feedback people are supposed to do. For the volunteer number 1 should comment on the opening versus the body. Volunteer number 2, opening versus the conclusion, and volunteer number 3, body versus the conclusion. Now, let me go into the prepared speeches. The timing for each prepared speech is 7 minutes. At the 5th minute, the green light will flash. At the 6th minute, the yellow light will flash. And at the 7th minute, the red light will flash, and the speaker has 30 seconds to wrap up the speech. If not, he will be muted. All right, so we hope we don't have to do that. And here we go. So our next speaker is Adrian Teo. Yes. Okay, here we go. Give me 1 minute, please. Adrian Teo is equipped with a Bachelor of Arts in History from the University of Malaya, Petaling Jaya, and an MSc Expectations Approach, Durham University, UK. Adrian spent 10 years in the civil service, 5 years in leadership development in Junior Chamber International, an NGO based in Coral Gables, Florida, prior to starting his own HRD consultancy, now ongoing for 37 years. He is president of SACE, Singapore Association for Continuing Education, empowering seniors to live, love, and learn. The treble laws, lots of living, lots of loving, and lots of learning. A lifelong learner himself, Adrian was a SIM lecturer in management development, an ACTA pioneer, trainer and assessor, ATD master trainer in coaching, master trainer in PCEL, professional certificate in experiential learning, and adjuncts with NUS and SUSS, in addition to being an anointed spiritual elder who in 2018 spent a 6-month sabbatical in Memphis, Tennessee. On a personal level, Adrian, married for 44 years, has 2 children and 3 grandchildren. His daughter was a 3-time Olympian. Adrian, an introvert, had to struggle hard in his early adult years to overcoming his fear of public speaking. Now, Adrian's topic: to prepare and get ready to give a good speech. What is the most important? Adrian will share with us 1, the context, 2, the content, and the connectivity. Do you wish to be able to prepare your speech better? Do you wish to get tips for your preparation for your next speech? Then let's hear Adrian. Let's welcome on the stage Adrian Teo.
Good evening, friends, Agorians, Singaporeans,
Lend me your wake up ears. Be open, oh dear ears. Check ears. E, emotion. A, attention. R, rapport. S, spacing. Hear ears, we need you to hear. Think ears, we need you to think. Hear ears, give heart to what you hear. With your permission, may I request that whenever you see or hear or heart something that you like, please signal me. The Q&A method, started by Socrates, was in common use in the 2nd century CE, Agora in Athens. The Q&A is to lead people to think and find answers for themselves. Our question in making a speech is, what is most important? I thought of 3 answers. The first answer is context is everything. Can you connect with that? Does it make sense? Is it meaningful? Yes? No? Okay, let's see if my 3C talk can help. So let's start with context C1. Context is everything. Now, there are 4 fundamental concepts in science, TEMS: time, energy, matter, space. Before I apply terms to my context, let me tell you a story. Imagine you are at a bus stop. A young man, a stranger you have never met, comes up to you and say, the name of the common wild duck is Histrionicus histrionicus. You understand the sentence, you know what he said, but it does not make any sense at all. The only way to make sense of it is to put it into a storyline. If the storyline is, this young man is mentally ill, oh, okay, that makes sense. So just ignore him. If the storyline is, yesterday, someone of your age, your height, and general appearance had approached the young man in the library. Today, he has mistaken you for that person. Okay, that makes sense too. Just correct him. If the storyline is, he is a spy, the sentence he uttered is the password to identify him to his contact. Wow, that's serious. Better tail him, or better report him to the police. Different storylines, different meanings, different responses. My storyline is this. I'm challenged by a complex question by Bunting. The answers are rather complicated. I have only 7 minutes. The space is virtual. I cannot see all your faces. My past tells me I have more questions than answers. Nonetheless, in the spirit of Agora, I will give it my best thought and talk. Context C2, content, met the gap. Mindful that method, how, is more important than content, what, I share my storyline to help you discover an idea or two for your next talk. The how question in what is important. Think, then talk, or talk, then think. Think, then talk, or talk, then think. I did both as I had to hear myself talk to know what I think. What do I think with? Well, my brain How well do I know my brain? Well, I know it's a 3-in-1. I'm going to show you the palm model. We have the habitual brain. This is the reptilian brain. Then we have the emotional brain. It's our midbrain. Then we have the thought brain, the human brain. IQ, EQ, PQ, practical quotient. So which is the most important? Your thought, your habit, or your emotion? Neuroscience differentiates between a thought, a map held in the working memory, and a habit, a map that's hardwired in long-term memory in the brainstem. Now, I use words, noises with meaning to express my thought. If I say, don't touch, and I touch, there is a gap between my thought and my habit. Can I change my habit? They say it takes 21 days. Can you change it right away? Yes, if the heart wills it. My mindfulness course, check the SACE website, will tell you how. C3, connectivity. See the signals. Now, mental mapping shows that people can only see what they previously experienced. An outside signal must match some previous wiring already in the brain. To illustrate, in the early 1900s, British explorers brought a tribal chief from Peninsula Malaya to Singapore. They exposed him to Singapore for 24 hours. Of all the wonders he saw, boats, bicycles, buildings, only one was important. He had seen a man carrying more bananas than he had ever thought one man could carry. What the mind has not experienced before, it cannot see.
Sorry, time up.
And thank you, Adrian. Let's give a warm hand to Adrian. All right, and the timekeeper's report is?
7 minutes, 30 seconds, and I had to mute him.
All right, all right. So no worries. We will get to know more of what Adrian has to say later. All right, now I would like to call upon the volunteers. Can I have the first volunteer? And the volunteer's timing is 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, the green light will flash. At 1 minute, the yellow light will flash, and the red light will flash at when it's time's up. And you have 30 seconds to close your feedback. So can I have the first feedback from Gwen?
Adrian, good evening to everyone, and especially to Adrian. Adrian, I was looking out to hear the promise in your speech opening, and I did catch a little bit of it. It's a nice acronym, but I didn't really catch it correctly. So that promise sounds interesting, but I was hoping that you could perhaps emphasize it a little bit more so that we can hear it and remember it. But I remember something to do with emotions and to do with the word years, but that's all I hear. So it's the hearing bit. Now, when it came to the body, you brought up how people understand the body of what you're going to say, and you brought up a few concepts. The ancient Greek approach, I think it's Aristotle, or Socratic approach, Q&A. You brought up the various conceptual approaches like time, energy, matter, space, and all that. And you also mentioned about storyline. But most importantly, you talk about the 3 C's. I remember that. Now, does what you, in effect, I feel you're trying to say is that it is very important to know the context of what you are speaking, and then the content, and then after that, the connectivity. I think it is, of course, there's a lot of intellectual depth in what you're saying. And however, I feel that within this so-called 5 minutes or probably even less, it's a hell lot of content to pack into the body. So in other words, the body is really bloated with a lot of rich ideas, but it's not that easy. But having said that, I do appreciate your storytelling approach to make it a little bit more digestible. And in that respect, I think there is some alignment between the promise and the promise in your speech opening and your body. Now, my suggestion for you is that perhaps you could simplify your body a little bit, make it a bit more slim it about. I think it's right now is a bit overweight, intellectually overweight, because especially online, if I can catch what you're saying, and if your technical equipment does not live up to the promise of your speech, of a good speech, sorry, it's lost on me. So, in other words, for a highly intellectual speech like that, to me is fairly intellectual, you need to make sure that you speak slowly, and also reduce the little extraneous thoughts, but make it really, keep it simple, straight and simple. But otherwise, your speech is really quite thought-provoking. I think it's thought-provoking, and I would love to hear more about it.
All right, thank you, Gwen. And her timekeeper's report for Gwen, please.
She crossed the 3 minute 30 seconds.
Okay, 3 minutes 37 seconds. All right, it was a good feedback for Adrian.
Hi, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian, for the speech. As what Gwen has said about her feedback, in fact, your speech opening is interesting, where you have the promises of you say you are able to do certain things, to prepare for a good speech. But I couldn't remember the acronym that you have stated. To me, it's a bit too long. And I also like to say that in a technical way, right, you have to really prepare for a better mic, because it's quite muffled. Your speech is actually quite muffled. For your opening, to me, comparing to the conclusion, your opening is a bit long. Yeah, so I cannot really carry through. And then when you go into the body, where you give us more examples, that actually, I'm already dived in, but I do not know where am I. Where? So the conclusion, I was just listening and listening. I'm trying to catch where you are, but I find that it's a bit too many content to absorb. And as what said, it's 7 minutes. So it's good to be like short and sharp, and let when people will be interested, they will definitely call you and say, "Yeah, I want to know more. Please tell me more." And this is how I would give you the feedback. Thank you very much, Adrian. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Casey. And can we have the third volunteer, Anne-Marie, please?
Sure, Rahana.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, conductor of tonight's meeting. And hello, everyone, Agorians, and especially Fusion. Adrian, I really like your speech very, very much. I've always learned from you. And if I can use the acronym SOS, in this case, not save our souls, but S for your strength, and O for opportunities, and the last S for summary. Now, your strengths. I really agree with what Glenn said. It is so rich of a diet. It is a lot of psychology, a lot of philosophy in it. You had Socrates' questions and answers approach, and then you have the 3 C's, the context, the situation, the content, what of the material, and the connectivity. So you have very, very empowering lessons in it. You told us about the mind taking 21 days for any effective change. You discussed IQ, EQ, PQ, intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, and practical intelligence. It's really very, very rich. You have conducted a lot of research. Now, the opportunities, I think, could be for a more structured speech. My SOS, I've got 3 minutes. So each one, I allocate 1 minute. So when you know you have 7 minutes, maybe 2 minutes for the introduction, then possibly 4 minutes for the body, and leave 1 minute for the conclusion. Because it was quite unfortunate. I would want to hear the end, but it was sort of truncated. Yeah, it was abducted and aborted, and I thought it was such a waste. So next time maybe you can give us more bite size rather than being so ambitious, because as a summary, when it's so rich, possibly we could end up with indigestion, because I couldn't really fathom or take in and appreciate the sip by sip of it, because like drinking red wine, you don't gulp it down all at once. You need to sip it bit by bit. So the last, as the summary, my parting sharing with Adrian is have 1 minute in the last end to repeat your ideas. And here I also like, maybe when you have the 3 C's, maybe you want to add as a conclusion the last 2 C's, because to me, why do we want to speak? We want to speak because of 2 reasons. One, credibility. We want people to trust us, to believe in us, to learn from us, to lean on us. So credibility is very, very important. And definitely you have that. And the other C is camaraderie, because we want to be on friendly terms with everyone. So here is my summary to you. As you are very strong as a speaker, a lot of good research, opportunities, maybe structure it. And my summary is watch out for the anchoring of that last point. And my parting gift to everyone, may we all increase in credibility and camaraderie. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. And that was in the nick of time, 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So before we proceed to the next speech, I would like 3 volunteers. We already have Penny for the second volunteer for this speech. Am I right, Penny? Yes?
Yes.
We go on to the next speech by Dr. Ram. Let me give you an introduction of Dr. Ram. Here we go. Dr. Ram is the founder and managing director of ACE International Private Limited. He also holds a PhD in biomedical science with 20 years of professional experience. Author of a few research articles and book chapters. He's a member of a few social organizations. He also is a keynote speaker in seminars and conferences. He's a professional consultant for companies, institutions, and industries. He's a believer of capability building seminars, workshops, trainings, and public speaking sessions to improve and make stronger communities. He is passionate in knowledge and technology transfer for those who are in need of them. His speech will be 7 minutes. Green light will be flashed at the 5th minute, yellow light at the 6th minute, and red light at the 7th minute. And he has 30 seconds to complete before the timekeeper puts down his hammer. All right, so Dr. Ram will be speaking on the applications of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a new generation technology widely applicable in various fields. Artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. Do you wish to become familiar and better understand about AI? Do you wish to know their applications in various fields? Then, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. Please welcome Dr. Ram on the application of artificial intelligence. Dr. Ram, take it away, please.
Good evening, all. I'm very happy to be in front of you today to share my feelings and knowledge. So it is the era of new generation technology. Everything is coming under the arms of new generation technologies all over the world. We cannot able to segregate what is needed for us from the artificial intelligence without artificial intelligence influences or engaging the artificial intelligence in our way. So as of now, the computer science along with various technical machines as well as equipments integrated together to formulate the involvement of artificial intelligence. It is the intelligence force coming out from the human sources. Every organisms as well as including humans having a lot of sensors to know better, to live better, to perform better from the senses what they receive in their perceptions to do something regarding to the requirements. As of now, the human engaged many activities in the company, institutions, industries, or their day-to-day life. But we cannot able to segregate what way we can able to equip the machines in our life. 1955, the era was started along with the artificial intelligence. Nearly more than 50 years of time, it has come to the level of ruling the whole world in its strength. We can able to segregate several applications which are engaged us with the day-to-day activities, especially for the transportation. Now the condition is going on with the man operated vehicle to machine operated vehicles, autonomous vehicles. Everywhere the people are now concentrating to formulate how do they able to generate autonomous vehicle. Tesla vehicle is lead in the scenario. And the next one is human healthcare. Human healthcare also engaged a lot of instruments, equipments, especially imaging studies, engaging with MRI scan, CT scan, as well as X-rays. Most of the intervening examinations are followed with artificial intelligence source. And we can able to numerous equipments engaged with the medical devices who are having the autonomous performance without manual interventions. And the drug synthesis development also equipped a lot engaged by the artificial intelligence sources. Agricultural fields, the soil components, climatic factors, plants, how it grows in the during the stages of different segments. So everything is recorded by artificial intelligence source. And the next one is education. As of now, we are in the lockdown situation. Even though the schools are running, they are engaging lot of equipment sources, resources from the artificial intelligence segments. How do they engage the lesson plans segmented towards with the learning aspects? As well as the training segments, there are a lot of simulated environment created, especially for aviation industry, logistic industry. They are using these kind of artificial intelligence sources. Data sciences, using the big data analysis for the customer's sake, client performance, client's requirement, client's expectations, all are segregated towards with the business portfolio, especially online platforms, e-commerce platforms. They are engaging in a stipulated way to analyze the behavioral sense of the customers to mitigate with the challenges and able to promote their selling products and services. As well as banking sectors also using the artificial intelligence to know how about the current situations or hurdles, barriers, as well as any bad incidents happening. So they have to monitor through these artificial intelligence sources. And we can go further with many more things, but I can say Government organizations are now investing a lot, especially in Singapore. They wanted to engage their investments towards with artificial intelligence. Hence, they have formulated Artificial Intelligence Singapore, and they wanted to create the professionals who are able to serve the country in a better way, not only in the social, civil services, also in a defense services. There are a lot of artificial intelligence sources are equipped for safeguarding the countries. As well as we can go further and further for many things, especially human resource platform, the job recruitment process also engaging artificial intelligence. Now they are receiving hundred thousands or millions of applications for a particular job or particular segments. So the artificial intelligence source is helping them to segregate the right candidate, right talent, right potential for persons who wanted to procure by the employers. So artificial intelligence are ruling all over the way. We cannot able to segregate it out of our hand. So we have to plan well and we have to engage our time. How do we able to overcome with these kind of things? Because lot of issues coming away from the artificial intelligence, especially for the human well-beings. They are getting more stressed and they wanted to segregate a peaceful life, but they wanted to overcome with the competition aroused by the artificial intelligence source. And I can able to tell this is the era of battle between the human resources with machine resources. Lot of automated equipments engaging the artificial intelligence source to compete with human intelligence. But even we can able to be more creative, be more potential to make ourselves live better in this era. I wish to thank all these listeners. Hope I have done my speech very well. Over to Rekana.
Thank you, Dr. Ram. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome speech. Very prompt to the timing. It took only 7 minutes exactly because we added 10 seconds to his speech because we couldn't hear him earlier. Thank you so much. Perfect to the T. Let's get our volunteers ready. Our first volunteer is Minakshi. Let's welcome Minakshi. You have 3 minutes to give your feedback on opening versus the body. Take it away, Minakshi.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Ram, for letting us know about the journey of since 1950s when it started. So, and I wasn't really aware of the so many fields and so many places this artificial intelligence is actually being used. So as far as my part as volunteer, the opening part is you started with the history and I could tell that you like Rihanna said about we're going to get the information application of artificial intelligence. So I found it very informative, descriptive, and more of a listing kind of thing, lots of things. And the field that is artificial intelligence is being used in automobile, in agriculture field, in education, and even human resources. And yeah, so it was more of a descriptive kind of speech, and I think there was some more what exactly is information artificial intelligence. I think I was looking for that, or I thought that was expecting from it. But nevertheless, it was very, very good to know a lot about it.
Thank you, Minakshi, for that feedback to Dr. Ram. She took 1 minute and 56 seconds. Awesome. Let's invite Penny for the next feedback. Go ahead, Penny. Thank you. Okay, let's give her a hand.
First, I am going to make sure that I position the connectivity between opening to closing, infiltrating body. Without doubt, this is academic, intellectually savvy speaker. Doctor is speaking to inform, and it is so intelligent that many of us listening who are not as qualified academically as Doctor might get lost. However, we get fascinated, Doctor, by your speech and your informative approach, and thank you. Now, areas to improve, because we're really talking now about connecting to opening and closing, and obviously infiltrating body. The speech really opens very, very strongly, and thank you. So that captures our attention that you're going to talk about AI, which everybody needs to know. The body is built very effectively and again intelligently, and it keeps us thinking about where we're going. But to improve, Doctor, connecting once again from introduction to conclusion, this is 8 p.m. at night. We need to keep effectively engaged with you. This is super intelligent, and it is rather, if you excuse me, rather monotoned. So we can switch off on our effectiveness of infiltrating the message to you, a message to you, from you to us. Finally, on improving, you need to do more on this enormous subject from closing and saying thank you. It's far, far bigger than that. You need to go right back to your headline, pick up some very, very strong words and connect it back on your conclusion. Make us stand up now at 8:10 at night in order to really understand better tomorrow morning AI and the effect it is going to have on us in our personal world, in our professional world, and our future. Over to you, Toastmaster or Agora.
Thank you, Penny. Timekeeper's report for the Penny was about 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Thank you, Penny, for that detailed feedback. Let's go on to our third volunteer. Thomas, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Give him a hand.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's good to be back in Agora. And Dr. Ram gave a very good talk about artificial intelligence and application in the future. But like what Penny said, maybe he needs to take a position whether he really likes artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence is very broad spectrum. It covers many things. When you talk about those in the banking industry where you have chatbot, where you communicate with chatbot, and these are really, they pretend to be like people behind it, but they are not. They are just some computer software. And also when you talk about autonomous cars, that's going to replace drivers, there are going to be autonomous buses, autonomous truck. There's going to be many, many people out of job very quickly. And you know what is going to drive artificial intelligence to the next level is 5G. So you just watch out for 5G. When 5G come online, artificial intelligence will take a leap of faith by maybe 1,000%. And that will end up all of, Dr. Ram, you did a good job. It's a difficult topic. You spoke well, you covered everything very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing your feedback with Dr. Ram. I'm sure he will put that into his speech so that it can convince you the next time round with better facts so that you will be convinced of artificial intelligence. I'm sure Dr. Ram will do that. Thank you very much to all the feedback givers. Let's move on to our third and final speech by Sean Tay. Let me share something about Sean with you. Give me a second. Okay. Sean is a powerful financial servicing consultant with AIA. He has been in the industry for more than 4 years. He is one of the top apprentice consultants in his agency. He has assisted more than 250 families to better manage their finances, protect their assets, and have a legacy for their loved ones. In addition, he is the founder of the YEMG, Youth Entrepreneurs Meetup Group. He leads this group of entrepreneurs to help each other understand the issues facing entrepreneurs, to explore solutions and best practices, and to support each other and to share resources. Now, the time allotted to Sean is 7 minutes, and his topic is how to manage your finances and grow your wealth many folds with COVID-19. Recent COVID-19 outbreak has affected us in many ways. Too many. It has brought great inconvenience into our lifestyles. It has affected the way we meet, the way we live, and the way we work. And to some of us, it brought us even greater anxiety than others too. It makes us worried about our income, jobs, and if we are able to sustain ourselves or safeguard ourselves in a crisis. Sean will be sharing with us on how to better allocate our finances effectively during this crisis to safeguard ourselves from potential financial catastrophe. In addition, he'll be sharing with us on what we should do now to better position ourselves strategically so that we are able to grow our wealth many folds in the next few years to come. Let's welcome to the stage Sean Tay. Take it away, Sean.
All right, a very warm introduction from Rihanna. Thank you very much. All right, then also a very good evening, okay, to fellow Agora members. All right, good evening to you guys. Okay, so for tonight's speech, right, okay, I'd like to share with you a little bit about COVID-19, okay, and how it's impacted us. All right, so COVID-19 has been a very, very bad thing. You know, it has affected our lifestyles, you know, changed the way we live, changed the way we meet people, okay, and create a lot of inconveniences into our lives. Then also at the same time, you know, COVID-19 to some of us even, you know, it had created such anxiety into our life, you know. We are worried about jobs, we are worried about income, we are worried about our business, you know, what's going to happen to it. All right, that I even have a few of our policyholders, you know, they would tell me that, hey, you know, Sean, why are you calling me, you know, at this period of time? My company is I'm going to suffer a pay cut soon. Okay, then for the next, you know, if circuit breaker to extend, I do not know whether even I'll be there. You know, so you're calling me up, you know, to talk about everything. All right. But let's say if you are in this situation for today, if I were to share with you 3 tips, you know, on how you can manage your finances, even at this crisis, all right, and even, you know, to share with you an opportunity, you know, to grow your wealth, okay, many, many folds in all the many years to come. All right, will you guys be interested? Give me a thumbs up. All right, fantastic. Okay, so for today, I'll share you 3 tips, okay, how to manage your finances in this crisis. Number 1, okay, budget, financial planning basic 101 is always about budgeting. All right, I understand that at this point in time, we were very anxious about income. You know, we are worried about, you know, whether are we suffering pay cut in our job at all. But it's also at the same time, this budgeting has become even more, you know, important during this period of time. You know, do you guys notice that to some, right, actually during this period of time, we save a lot of money? You know, you understand? But to some, right, actually we spend a lot of money. Yeah. So do you know there's this thief, you know, there's always, you know, sucking our budget even though we are staying home doing nothing. Okay, so we had one thing to look out for, right? Why we do budgeting is important is that, you know your income, your expenses, keep track of everything. Because one key thing, that is taking out a lot of expenses is Grab. I hope Anthony Tan is not listening to this video. All right, because these are the things that if we cut unnecessary things, yeah, then so that we can better allocate, our resources to somewhere else, to prolong our budgets and all. All right, so number one is budget. Number two, look out for all the reliefs. All right, I believe that everyone, I heard of the current budgeting, the plans, where, the Ministry of Finance, they had, and all the ministers they have for every Singaporeans. All right, so look out for that. Some of the leaves are, for example, temporary relief grants, all right, COVID-19 support grants, okay. The 600, for Singapore citizens, 300 for PRs, but remember to apply. All right, they also got the 9,000, as SIRS, okay, for self-employed. Okay, so all these are, you can say that is free money, okay, for us at this point of time. All right, so make good use of it, take it, all right, so that from here we can know how to move forward from there. Okay, then on top of that, also look out for, there are also opportunities too, okay, for example, like trainings. Okay, do you guys know that Harvard universities are open up their courses for free? For free, wow, if you were to take all the courses, right, wow, you can be, you can tell yourself that, I went to Harvard in astrophysics. Right, okay, so take advantage of all these resources, okay, that is readily available, that's ready for us, just go and take it, do it, using this point in time, to go and be a Harvard graduate. All right, so that's the second thing. Third thing, all right, is the opportunity I'd like to share with you, okay, is invest, invest, and invest. All right, do you guys know that in this situation, right, actually is once in the 10 years opportunity to invest and to buy something? Do you guys know that? Right, okay, so as you look, okay, why do I say that, right? Because if you look at, for example, Dow Jones, okay, in the market, you look at S&P 500, you look at STI, you see that, this for the past recent weeks, right, okay, the market has been having a great discount. There's a great discount already in the market, all right, which, such a huge discount in such a short time has never been seen before, for the last 5 to 6, 7 years. All right, the last seen probably will be around 08, 09 at that point in time. All right, so it's such a good opportunity to do so. But some will say that, that, hey, right now I'm cash tight. Why do I have to do that? How can I do that to invest at the same time? Okay, do you know that some insurance products, investment products, actually no need require cash to do the investment? All right, some of them actually just use your funds in OA. Okay, you can do that already. Then do you know, guys also know that SRS? Anyone here know about SRS? Has been contributing to SRS, correct, right? I saw some nodding heads. All right, after contributing, do you do something about it? All right, the interest rate after contributing is as good as only at the bank if you never do anything about it. So right now probably is a good opportunity to use your funds in the SRS, to buy funds, to invest in some funds, so that you can have a better return in the future. All right. Okay, so in the nutshell, right? Okay, these are the three very simple concepts. Okay, budgeting. Okay, look out for reliefs, and also look out for opportunity to invest. Insurance products and also SIS. All right. Then today, I'm very happy to see so many fellow friends here, and also at the same time, I love to reward those who have stayed throughout. Probably that's why I love being the last speaker. So I'm going to reward you guys. I have a cheat sheet for you guys, okay, that tells you, okay, the budgeting sheet, how to do budgeting, okay, the list of reliefs that you can look for, okay, the list of opportunities, where you can look for to learn things, all right. Then at the same time, okay, is to give you some of my insights, okay, that if we have cash or if we were to use insurance products and RSRS, where can we invest on, and what's the time horizon, okay, that will give us many folds return in the next upcoming year. All right. So in order to do so, I need those who are interested in this cheat sheet, jot down my number, 918888-048. All right, 20 seconds left, 918888-048. Okay, drop me a number, say I want the cheat sheet, And then from there on, I will speak to you soon. All right. Thank you very much.
Awesome. 7 minutes and 16 seconds. I must hand it to Sean. Awesome, awesome. And he got his point across and he closed and he even left us his number for us to call him back. So thank you, Sean. And all right, I would like 3 volunteers for his speech, please. Go ahead, Chong Lim. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Rihanna. Okay, good evening, everyone. It's me again. First, let's all thank Shante for the great speech. I think it's a very important topic to keep ourselves focused on important things during this period. We're all stuck at home now, some getting cabin fever, going a bit, stuck at home every day, cannot go out, that kind of thing. So it's good to have something to focus your mind on. So I think Sean has given us a very good opportunity, give us something that we can think about. All right, so in his speech opening, he mentioned that this COVID situation is not it's all doom and gloom or disaster. You have to look for the opportunities that are present, and he has given 3 very good points in his body which support it. So I think he did a very good job tying all this together. His opening brought about the situation where you would think that yeah, he's right, there is something that I can do. And then his body just top it up and gives it very clearly the three different ways that you can use your money for investment opportunities at this time. Did the body provide? Yes, he did. So what advice would I like to share? Overall, I think he covered his 3 points very well and his pacing was well done. What advice would I share? Nothing from me. Perfect job, Sean. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Chong Lim, which was, I think, 1 minute and less than 30 seconds. Awesome, Chong Lim. Oh, 2 minutes and 1 second. All right, thank you. So let's move on to Adrian, please. Thank you, Adrian. And let's welcome Adrian.
Well, Chong Lim has covered the body very well. The 3 points, I thought, I would say the same thing. So I just want to talk about the opening and why the opening was powerful. I think it's powerful because of the existing context of COVID-19. I believe all of us feel our concern about our financial situation in view of particularly the downturn that is sure to come, right? So that context got all our attention very well. Yeah. So you know that with that context, you've got the body, you've got the attention, so people will listen. What can I advise him? Well, certainly in the introduction to say that he's a financial advisor, and I mean, for some of us, you're going to sell insurance and all that, and we'll be on guard and all that. But he has a very personable way about it, So he sort of lowered our guard. So in terms of his personable mannerism, I thought that was great. So really, I don't have any, advice for him to improve. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Awesome. And he took 1 minute and 31 seconds. So let's proceed with John Chong. Let's call on stage John to give his feedback. John, thank you. Okay.
I just want to mention that as a retiree, some of the things Sean mentioned, I could not, it actually is not relevant for me. But I just want to share that, say on the issue of budget is one where everybody does budgeting. So what he could have shared in the body would be maybe draw attention that what if you did not budget? You know, I'm not saying for one moment that you should outline the gloom. That will give a better impact. All right? And also in relation to the conclusion on the issue of budget, if you could have shared, well, now assuming that you have budget, what should one do now? I mean, the budgeting surely by now would have gone astray. You would have spent, like you mentioned, Grab, or there'll be certain avenues where your money flows out unexpectedly, you know, unplanned for expenditure. Then what should one do now? Why to make up that the next time something of this nature happen, or then what should one do? I was actually looking for the budgetary part of what next, not post COVID. I always lost the name. So things like that. But by and large, he knows he's what he's saying, what he's doing. But I think there is a little approach on sales here. There's a sales pitch here too, which I would have assumed is normal for insurance or financial planner practitioner. Is normal, right? So I think Sean did well. He did well. But I was just thinking that budgeting, because I did budget, but then it has gone astray now. I was thinking, what should I do? So, well, I'm still looking for answers. Maybe Sean can just mention it later. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
And thank you, John. Very good feedback. Sean will definitely put it into his next speech and make it more powerful than before. All right. Thank you. The time now is 8:38 and we have completed our 3 speeches for tonight. Next is a very interesting segment called the test. Let's see. And let me introduce our test master or test mistress today. Is Ms. Shauna. Let me tell you a little bit about Shauna. Shauna is an accountant by training. Having grown up in India and now living in Singapore, she's grateful for the many beautiful people and the many wonderful opportunities that she comes across here. She believes that nothing teaches better than one's own experience. Life is an experience of your own creation. To quote Mr. Gay, she says, the mission is the journey. Always up for a challenge, she likes to stretch herself, and today she hopes that she will be able to remember much from the speeches that were shared this evening and that everyone had a great time. So let me introduce the timing. We have 15 minutes for this segment. At 13 minutes, the green light will flash, 14 minutes the yellow light, and 15 minutes the red light. So let me introduce and welcome on stage, Shauna! Take it away!
Thank you, Rehana. I really enjoyed today's speeches and the talks and introductions as always. And it's lovely to see the same group and our little group growing bigger as well. So today I'm happy to be the test master, and this is my first time. And usually it's Chong Lim, Sean, or Kyril, or Jeffrey, or Carlson who does this wonderful job. And we always have a wonderful time listening to them. There are always questions that we are not able to answer and we miss that they always catch. So I wonder what I am able to catch today. Let's see. So let's go to the prepared speeches first. So we have Harry Sabinas giving us the first talk, and it was about how to speak effectively in front of the camera. So who would like to volunteer and say what the speaker, what Harry wanted us to take away from the speech? He was talking about how we needed to, how we can be effective in front of the camera and how to engage with the audience. Does anyone want to volunteer?
at the light in front of you. That's what I learned. That's what I put into practice immediately.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time, Mr. Teo?
Having the light
Yes.
in front of you.
Yes.
And
yes.
that brightens you up. So
yes.
that I applied immediately.
Yes. Even that was one of the things that I also did right away. He also suggested that maybe you can even place it behind your phone, or maybe that can also have improve your appearance on the screen. And what else? Anybody else can remember? He mentioned 2 other points. Yes,
Hey, I give it a
Meenakshi?
try.
Look at the camera.
I'm
Clear
sorry?
the camera. Look at the camera,
Look
not
at the
screen.
camera. Yes, yes.
Clear the camera.
Correct.
And third one, I think it's already shared. The light should be at the face, not actually at the behind.
Yes. And one more thing was yes, Meenakshi?
Yeah, he said the voice that comes, the way you project, the voice comes from the heart is more effective, how you speak.
Yes.
That was also very powerful.
Another thing, yes, that was very good. And another point that Harry mentioned was about the background, how we can be mindful of that.
The green screen, and we can change the screen.
Screen as well, yes. Yeah. And he also mentioned that along with the voice from the heart, he also mentioned that there's a wisdom voice and also commanding voice.
Yes.
Was the other voices that he said, and for us to be mindful about the tone. So all in all, I think we all had a good time.
Yep.
And what else was that? What information did the speaker present to support his point? I guess we covered it all. Is there anything else that anyone would like to mention?
I think he himself actually stood at a nice place where actually his face was very brightly lit. Even now also his face is brightly lit. He's smiling, he's looking at the camera, and that itself is a perfect exemplifying what he meant to say.
Yes, I think by also physically doing it, like covering the camera with his hand and showing us the lamp, I think all that made it a very effective presentation, because I think right away all of us were able to make a few changes in what we were doing. So thank you very much. So let's go on to the evaluation, which so over to the next speaker, which is Mr. Teo. And the topic was, he spoke on what is most important to prepare and get ready for a speech. Would anybody like to mention what the key takeaway from the speech was? Casey, would you like to try? Oh, sorry, you were one of the.
I can. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I can say he talked about the brain, which was very interesting what he did with his hand. I think that was fascinating, because then you know the EQ, something EQ, IQ, and PQ. That's what I remembered.
Yes.
Casey, go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Teo was talking about how important the context, the content, and connectivity is important in a speech. And he went on to elaborate that. So when he mentioned, is there any information that you can remember that he used to support his point? For example, for the context, he was saying how the energy and the area around you matters. And when somebody approaches you at the bus stop, can you remember what he was saying?
I can't remember. So sorry.
He mentioned something about the timeline, the storyline. He said that you can develop a storyline based on a particular incident.
Sorry, I only remember what Mr. Teo said about the content, right? The context and the content all got to make sense, all got to be related to one another. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I remember.
Yes. And there was that is true. And he wanted to also leave one more big impression in our minds about connectivity, which he said that it's only what the mind sees that you are able to catch on. And he speaking about a person who came from Malaysia, and he could only identify with somebody who was carrying a lot of bananas. So how in your presentation, to connect with your audience, you could identify your audience and then convey that, make that part of your speech.
Okay.
So wonderfully done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
yes. And Mr. Teo, would you remember what recommendation the evaluators had for you?
My greatest weakness is I cannot keep it within the time given. I use too much content, too much material. I couldn't use simple words, and my timing was off. So I learned a lot from that, and that essentially, particularly from Anne Marie, if you can just remember to get back to the key points all the time, that would help. So yes, I learned a lot. Thanks.
Yes, and then there was a lot of information that we learned as well. Thank you. Yes. And then it was Dr. Ram. He was talking to us application of artificial intelligence. Can anyone remember the key takeaway from the speech? How about Mary? Shall I call you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The key takeaway from Dr. Ram's speech?
He mentioned a little bit about the healthcare instruments that you're using, the modern technology, and to live better, the lifestyle. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes.
So he also look into the educational system,
yes,
and the resources that is coming up from this artificial intelligence.
Yes. So Dr. Ram was talking about the applications in various fields.
Yes.
Can anyone remember the different fields that he covered? I'm sure there are.
Medical.
Yes.
Healthcare, that means under the instruments. Education.
Yes.
Another artificial intelligence. I really.
Agriculture.
Agriculture, yes.
Yeah.
Banking.
Yeah.
Banking, yes. I think automotive.
Automotive, yes. And government organizations,
yeah.
And even human resources. He was saying that even human resources use artificial intelligence. And there was one thing that he elaborated on, one example that he gave. I guess one of the evaluators also mentioned it. It was about the vehicles. And do you remember? Anyone remembers? About the Tesla, about the autonomously driven vehicles. Yes, thank you, Dr. Ram, for that wonderful speech, and thank you for that contribution from everyone. And Dr. Ram, can you remember what the evaluators, what the feedback was from the evaluators?
Yeah, Penny mentioned that it's a very scientific thing. So it is not very comfortable for the normal people who can able to understand.
Yes.
And at this time, it may not awaken their things to listen to these kind of topics, as well as Meenakshi mentioned that I have covered something relevant to the current scenario where
Yes.
the applications and other things are mitigated with that. And Thomas Stan is conflicted, maybe artificial intelligence is going to affect human well-being as well as humanity-oriented things. Yes, it is true, but we cannot avoid artificial intelligence as of now, because right now we are also in that kind of platform. We cannot avoid because it is all influenced by the artificial intelligence. We have to make some kind of healthy borderline where the humanity or human-oriented concern must not be eradicated. That kind of things also formulated now because the influence is very stronger, severe, because the employers and the investors, governments, all of them are looking into the kind of artificial intelligence. How do they able to procure for the effective best performance as well as governance, and it is also supporting because 5G will come. It will change the whole concept, especially because I don't want to touch upon with the 5G, but 5G is mainly involved with artificial intelligence. It is going to eradicate so many things in the current scenario, but we have to make the healthy borderline, as Thomas Tran mentioned. Maybe in future I can consider those kind of areas. I have to make some kind of bridging that will emphasize more clearly about scientific inventions as well as the human well-being or mankind kind of. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ram.
Sona, I have a suggestion for Dr. Ram.
Yes.
Dr. Ram, the next speech will be a speech to convince Thomas.
That's right. It is a good thing for me also, because I know NTU has started one department, Nanyang Technological University in Science and Technology for Humanity. NIST. They have started this kind of scenario. I attended the inaugural function along with Subra Suresh, the president, as well as our Dharman Shanmuratnam was presiding the function.
Right.
This also started already. Many institutions, leading institutions in the world, they want to protect the humanity against our science and technology.
Good listening.
Thank you.
Now over to the last speaker, that was Sean Tay. And the topic was, he spoke about how we can manage our finances better and grow our wealth many folds this COVID-19, the season of COVID-19. Would anyone like to volunteer what the key takeaway was from the speech? There were 3 main points that Sean covered.
Invest, 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 he said.
That was an additional bonus point that Sean gave us.
Yeah, it's a phone number, 91888048.
Yes, we were abundantly given lots of points. Yes.
Yes. By the way, no midnight call, please. No midnight calls.
Crisis is also opportunities.
Yes.
You don't need to have a lot of money to invest. You can use your SRS fund.
Yes.
PPF.
Budget.
Yes. And budget, and a lot of reliefs that are available at the moment. And there are lots of courses on discount and also free of charge that we can make use of. So Sean was talking not just about monetary wealth, but other wealth as well, and wealth of knowledge also, how we could increase. Yes. And
Shona, your time is up.
All right. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Shauna. Thank you. Give her another round of applause. So it's very important that you pay attention to the speeches when they are given, and to the speakers to pay attention to the feedback when it's given, so that you will always pass the test. Now we have come to almost the end of our wonderful session, but we have one last wonderful final section which will be given to us by Penny. Let me introduce her, and she will do the closing address. The closing address takes 15 minutes. At 13 minutes, the green light. At 14 minutes, the yellow light. And at 15 minutes, the red light. And she has 30 seconds to complete her closing address. So let me introduce Penny. Penny has a long-standing banking career and worked through many channels: consumer, priority, private wealth, and sales via various specialty roles. Penny has been fortunate to have been in Singapore, starting with Standard Chartered for 24 years. She is well integrated and she is still excited about even more fresh experience. I would say she's already Singaporean. Penny's mandate is vocational. When she works, she takes her work seriously and she knows it's all about relationships and ensuring trust. Penny now facilitates learning, ranging from consultative conversations, strategic sales, handling difficult scenarios, presenting opportunities, negotiation, and coaching. Penny regards presenting as performance, nothing less, creating an impact, opening her headline to grab immediate attention, followed by articulating a message which is structured and easy for the audience to connect with. Infiltrating a totally relevant and authentic story to illuminate the theme and ensuring a closing to totally sum up the key takeaways. She calls it her crescendo. Let us invite Penny Radcliffe to deliver the closing address. Take it away, Penny.
My goodness, my goodness. What an opening. That's a crescendo in itself. Now, Agora. Normally are very, if I can say, I'm flirting, handsome, splendid, present, Jan closes. And he isn't with us. I don't know where he is. I see him on the camera here, on the video, but I think he's sort of disappeared, letting all of us do this. But President Gan constantly talks to us at the end about effectiveness. Effectiveness. When you stand up, whether you're Casey, Casey, coiffured Casey, branded Casey, standing up, creating the image, or any one of us, President Gan needs effective message. And that always rings true to me. I stand up, I like him. He's very demanding as a president, but he comes across highly intelligent and highly well articulating. Now, I'd like to first of all thank President Gan for allowing me in. President Gan and I have little sort of WhatsApp debates. I put my opinion in. Sometimes he likes it, sometimes he does not, but that is very, very okay. Now, I'm here to summarize and accolade all of you speaking tonight. And first, I'd like to say hello to Harry. Harry from the UK, I hear. Harry, you don't look on your wonderful colour skin very English to me, like my awful white skin, but your message is very strong. Create wonderful persona, presence on camera. Look at that top light on your laptop. Sometimes I forget to do that. And create your power. Harry told us about that. Now, online, as we all are in all our meetings, it's very, very different. We need to have our presence, our positioning, our relating, our checking, our questioning, and our listening. And that comes from Richardson, very, very famous from the US. Harry determined that with us and made sure that we try very hard on our vocabulary, on our voice, on our video, on our background even, to create presence, to create impact. Now, my presence tonight isn't that good because I'm in my lovely apartment. At the back is a bookcase with some white walls. Not really that great, but when I coach, I have to turn the furniture around and I have to speak to the window because there is light. Now, the other Sunday, I grappled with my Zoom backgrounds because I saw the general 5 pictures I could take from Zoom, but I didn't really think it depicted me. So I tried very hard to go back to some photographs of me, and the damn thing, sorry about that strong language, the damn thing didn't connect in, although I went into settings, I went into settings, I went into settings, but nothing worked. But never mind. I will invite Harry personally to come into my home in Singapore from my Zoom connectivity out. Thank you very much, Harry. We also, Casey's clapping, I love him. We also heard 3 amazing speakers. We heard Adrian. My goodness me. Spending an evening with Adrian would be illuminating for all of us. His intelligence, his brain. I think I would come home and I would lie on my pillow, Adrian, awake all night, thinking about your academic quality and wondering when I could have coffee every morning with you. Thank you. We then heard Dr. Ram, another academic. Again, on my second pillow, ladies and gentlemen, at Agora, I would come home. I would be awake. I would be excited. I would be thinking of that message. And I'd want to book coffee with Dr. Ram every single morning at 11 o'clock in the days left in 2020. So good, Dr. Ram, so rich and so intelligent. And then we had Sean, Sean, much more practical. Thank you, Sean. Now we know that in COVID, when things are very tight, we have to watch everything more closely. Agora, can I share with you that I'm very naughty at weekends? Can I share a secret? I go on my bicycle. I go for lunch. Very simple lunch. I go into Parkway Marine Parade to tell myself I'm going to go in, just do food shopping. Ladies and gentlemen, I go into Easttown. I go into Uniqlo. I go into Cotton On. And I come back home and I think, oh, I can't possibly live a day longer unless I buy that wonderful sports bra and that sports bottom on my bicycle from Cotton On. I can hardly wait, ladies and gentlemen, for the next day for that shop to be open. I'm spending money, but now Sean is right. The shops are closed. I look into my little purse after the weekend, which normally has 80 cents left. And now I have $180 left. I can hardly believe where I am going. Sean, I am sure you'll be so proud of me on my financial planning, expertise, and control. However, when June the 1st comes back, I cannot wait to get into Easttown, Uniqlo, Cotton On, Clarins. Ladies and gentlemen, the most expensive shop that I love in Ion big company. I can't wait to go forth and spend my money. But I will take Casey, and I will take President in with me, and I will ask them to buy me my favorite things because I'm still saving money. So all in all, the theme tonight, intelligence, academic, very, very good quality financial planning. Sean, I need to take action. I need to be more sensible. And thank you for all of you for insightfulness, excitement, and indeed intelligent presentation. Good night, Agora. I've really enjoyed. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's give her applause.
Where is that president? He needs to speak to us. Where is Mr. President?
All right. Now we've come to the end of our meeting. Our next meeting will be on the 7th of May, so make sure you come on time, be there, and I want to see all your faces bright and early, and I want to see more people, and just invite one person. Each one just invite one person to this Agora Superstar meeting, and we will see you all on the 7th of May. So for those who need to leave, you may do so quietly without interrupting the rest. And those who wish to stay may do so for our chairman to give us another fruitful lesson. So I bid you all good night. And I thank you all for being here. And I invite you again and look forward to seeing all of you. But before that, I would like everyone to give a hand to the people who made all this possible. Casey Chen, Timekeeper Costa, Flaming Chen, Jeffrey Lu, our chairman. But the biggest clap goes to all of you. Give yourself a power clap. All right, good night.
Give applause to Rihanna. Rihanna, thank you.
Harry,
Yes.
I must have a very special big thank you to Harry, all the way from Lima in Peru. I think about like 6,000 miles across the ocean. And he stayed with us a whole night. We learned so much from him. I'm really very, very thankful. God bless us by having you. Perhaps
pleasure.
I want to give you a few minutes. You share some a little bit more after observing us for the whole night. What else can we do to improve on this process?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the meeting has been fantastic. I think that the MC take very good part, and the energy that Rihanna had put in the whole meeting. This is very important. It's a long training, 4 hours. So to keep the people with the energy like that, this is key. Yeah. So MC is a role that we have to always put people with experience like Rihanna to leave the meeting up. This was amazing. I think that the only thing that one of the things that we can do for improvement is regarding the broadcasting. I don't know, Bumping, do you know one function, Rihanna, in the Zoom that I call spotlight? There is a spotlight. If you see, so who create the meeting? Create. So this is Bumping. When we do this, yes, online, it looks it is like a TV production. What that means, we had to put roles. So what is one role? One role is a spotlight. What that means, a spotlight. Spotlight means that when you create the link, you can put Casey as a co-host. For example, Casey can be co-host. Then what happens is that Casey has the same control that Willie. O sea, he can mute everyone. I saw that some of you mute everyone. Who was that? Willie or?
No, I did. I have the co-host.
Okay, very good. Okay, then Bampen, because you are the co-host, right? Now, for example, I am speaking, right? So go to the three lights. There are three dots when I'm speaking. And one of the dots, the three dots, one said spotlight.
No, where do I find the three spot?
It's it three dots that is in when I'm speaking in
Top
my
or bottom of the screen?
No.
Because now we have the screen divided in four, right? Or we have different view. But what a spotlight it does is that put the person speaking, you have control to whom you put as a main screen, right? So what that means? That if Rayhan is speaking, we bring Rayhan a spotlight. If Bampen is speaking, spotlight. So you have control who goes on the big screen. It's like a TV. So you can have, you can have several co-hosts. For example, Casey can be one co-host, Adrian can be one co-host. So you can have several co-hosts. So one role could be, okay, Casey is gonna be doing a spotlight. So the whole role of Casey is Harry speaking, put Harry in the middle. And then, for example, if Bampen speaking, Bampen to the spotlight. So it's like a TV production like that. So someone has to be in charge of the spotlight. So like this doesn't happen that sometimes people are speaking, but then in the main screen is somebody else, right? So this is number one. Number two, that there is another role that, for example, Bampen you can use, like share screen, right? So for example, when the speaker is speaking, yes, you can do a spotlight to the speaking, and then you can share the screen to show the time. So like the people can see the time as well in the main screen. Yes, it's all about you have like a control for the main screen. So for example, there is 10 minutes, right? So the person speaking 10 minutes, yes, because the person only see himself in the main screen, but now he forgot the time, he cannot see the time. So you do a spotlight to people. After 3 minutes, you show the time for 3 seconds. So everybody can see the time, not only the main speaker, everybody, and then back again, yeah? It's not about the meeting. The meeting is amazing. It's just learning few things about Zoom because this is like a TV production now, yeah? Like Casey, I can show you more stuff. I can show Casey more tricks about that. The rest is amazing, honestly.
Yeah, Harry, teach me more so I can charge people. I teach people.
I'll teach you. I will show Casey everything, and then Casey, it's like you are a TV production. You know, somebody has to say. For example, when we do our trainings, we have somebody in WhatsApp that said, spotlight Casey, mute Casey. That's the other thing, Bampen. You need to have one role more, people controlling the mics.
Okay, got that.
Why? So you one person open the mics, close the mics. So like this, there is no background noise. Sometimes people don't know what background noise. So one role could be somebody that control the mics. Like this, Bampen, with these new roles, people learn about Zoom.
Yeah.
And then you have more roles, more people come to the meeting.
Yeah.
Zoom alone, it needs 3-4 roles more.
Okay.
Spotlight, sound, the timekeeper need to show the thing, yeah, and even it can have one for role, like for example, even like you said, no, now let me introduce Rayhana, yeah, you can put the logo of the company, you can put so someone could be like a graphic, you know, to put the logo of the person before they speak. Or this give a lot of professionalism, yeah. For example, the third guy or the third guy that spoke, that is like he managed a group of entrepreneurs. Well, you can put the name of the group of entrepreneurs or that dot. But like this, we have to assign roles. Yeah.
Harry, one question. Harry, one question.
Yes. Yes.
Is it possible to make a breakout? For example, like today we have say 40 people. Is it possible to make say 4 different groups, like 10 group, and then actually one group Casey is leading, another group is maybe Rehana is leading with some topic. Is it possible those breakout kind of rooms in Zoom?
In Zoom.
Yeah, the breakout.
Yeah, to separate the rooms. I will check with my IT director, and I will let you know if it's possible to separate rooms. Yes. Actually, no. The answer is yes, Adrian. You can. You can. I need to find out how, but definitely you can. So you can after one meeting finish. Yes. And let's say you have 30 people. You can say, okay, now we're gonna pass to a separate room, and a group of people will go to that separate room, and they and the co-host will allow who goes to that room. This is possible. I attend the meeting that this happening. Yeah, I will find out how to do it, and I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Casey,
sure. Thank you.
Yeah, this, for example, that we did, Evan Pen.
Yeah.
You don't need to wait till the people leave. You can send them to another. You can send this group to another room, private, and all the discussion goes there.
Yeah. Yeah, I have experience with the separate room because quite often in corporate meeting, certain people are conflicted. So we do not want them to be in the meeting while we decide on something that affects them. So we move them to a separate room, a waiting room. But I do not know if inside the waiting room, can they talk to each other? Because when we move them to a separate waiting room, then we are in the meeting. So I don't know what happens to those people in the waiting room.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna check how many separate meeting rooms you can do after one main meeting. Yeah. The rest is very good.
Casey, I hope you had captured what Harry said for the timing, how the timing to be shown. Like Harry is now speaking, and if I want to show him the amount of time he is speaking, I do not know how to show it to him, the clock.
Yes, usually what we say is we speak out. We don't
right.
show. Yeah.
But Harry was saying that the time that many cam that I was sharing, and right now I think Harry doesn't have any idea how many minutes he is speaking, right, Harry? Yes. So if I want to show it to him in the next meeting, so we have the spotlight, so the main speaker comes in the middle, and the speaker can also see how much time. So how do we show the time to the speaker?
No, yeah, or like I do, like I do, for example, if it's 7 minutes speech, yes, the speaker start and I leave the speaker for 3 minutes. Yeah. Then I spotlight the speaker for 3 minutes. Then I bring the time for 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So the speaker see it, everybody see it for 3 seconds. I spotlight the speaker again. Then after 3 minutes, after 2 minutes, I show the time again for 3 seconds. I spotlight the speaker again.
So like this, the speaker, time becomes the spotlight.
Yeah.
So okay, let me do it.
It's right between a spotlight and a screen share, because I think the time it gets done with the screen share. Yeah. So what you do is you screen share, you show the time for 3 seconds, then you spotlight the person back.
Casey, I think now
it's like a TV.
Timer is on spotlight right now. Yeah. Is it so? Yeah, we got it.
You see?
Nice.
Yeah.
We got it.
Now awesome. You're learning, yeah? Like for example, now time is in the spotlight. Yeah. Now when you get a co-host, you have control what is in a spotlight and what, because it's important that you control the spotlight, who is the main thing that's going on, because some does it, how some does it, it pick up the voice and automatically define who goes in a spotlight. But sometimes it's not accurate and you lose the essence of the meeting. Okay. So the spotlight has to be manual control.
Yeah. Jesse, I volunteer for the next meeting's timekeeper role.
You see, now we have new role. Who's gonna be a spotlight manager? A spotlight manager. That's a new role.
I think I can do that as well.
Good. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because you look like you are in a TV. So you spotlight and then you put the time, and this is actually how TV productions are done. Sure. And it gives a lot of quality to the meeting. They'll give a lot of quality to the participants and everything.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Harry.
I'm
very-
also learning. Yeah, I started 3 weeks ago because I never done in my life also. So we all learning together, you know.
After this pandemic, we don't want to get out of our house anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Expert in Zoom. Yeah. One thing, Bampain, that you can put also in Zoom is a function that is polls. Polls, what that mean is a survey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can say, for example, you can say for the 3 speakers. Yeah. You can say, who do you think was better? Yes. And then you put the name of the 3 speakers on the poll, and the people vote, and this vote is anonymous. So it will give back percentage. It's gonna give back like percentages, like 85% people think that Rehana's speech was good, 20% thinks that Lauren's speech was good, and 10% thinks. So there is a poll. It's like a survey. It's also functioning in Zoom. This, if you need to have a sense from everybody, or an opinion, like for example, oh, how was this meeting compared with the meeting last time? Yes, it was good, excellent, bad, or blah blah. And then Bampain, you can measure the percentage, and that's the participant. You see, oh, last week was 80% said that was excellent, and this week now 70% is excellent. Oh, we drop in sunset. What is it? You can get a sense from the audience or from all the participants. It calls poll as well, a function. That's also very useful.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. That is really, really very, very good technical advice. We are learning so much from you. We are really very blessed to have you with us.
And I applaud you, Bampain, and all the team to organize a meeting, because I know it's very complex.
Yeah.
Very complex to put everything together, but all of you are doing it very good.
Tonight's meeting is not put up by me. Tonight, we are blessed to have Casey who did everything. So I just sit back and listen. Thank you, Casey. Well done.
Yeah, thank you, Casey. Amazing.
For those of you who do not know Harry went to London at a time where he doesn't know how to speak English.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He learned to speak English, and he cannot find a job. And he owes people money. And then he found a job as a bartender that pays, I think, like $6 an hour or something. And he was very happy. But eventually he found a way to succeed, and he learned to speak English. I think he even managed to find an English girlfriend. Am I right? You got this girlfriend who's English.
From Romania, I speak English. Yes.
Yeah, Romanian. Is it? Oh, okay. But she's English speaking. And eventually he succeeded. And he became successful, and he wrote a book. And in fact, I have his book. I thank Harry. I have his book. He outlined his journey, how he succeeded to climb the Big Ben. The Big Ben is a metaphor of the very big challenge a foreigner faces in London. A foreigner who does not have friends and relatives, or foreigner who does not speak the native language, but he managed not only to survive, he managed to succeed. And now he's using his blessing to share with the rest of the world. He's helping people from all over the world to apply their knowledge, their skill, their expertise, to make the world a better place, and at the same time make some money. So he's really a wonderful guy. You must meet Harry either in Singapore, in London, or in Bangkok and Mumbai and everywhere else that you go to. Okay?
In Singapore for sure. Singapore for sure. I was there like 2 months ago. 2 months ago I was there, but I couldn't get in because of the virus. I had to stay in Malaysia.
Okay.
I was very close.
Okay, now I want to give some feedback to the rest of the people. Okay, maybe Harry can also listen in. Maybe later you can give me some advice. Like Penny said, I always emphasize on effectiveness. What do I mean when I say Many people can speak, but very few are really effective. Look at tonight, for example, right? Can you remember what the speaker said? Without taking notes, without referring to your notes, can you still remember? Okay, if you cannot remember what the speaker spoke about without referring to your notes, then the speaker is not effective. It is not your fault. It's a speaker's duty to ensure you can hear him, you can understand him, you believe him, and you remember his message. So that is the speaker's duty. Now, many of us have a problem because if you look at tonight, 3 speakers, 2 of them are highly experienced, highly qualified, with many, many years of experience and knowledge and high education. They are burdened with too much knowledge, right? And because they have so much knowledge and they are not trained as a stage speaker, maybe they are experienced as a lecturer or as a teacher, and they speak in the way lecturers and speakers speak. And for the lecturers and speakers, their burden is less because the students are forced to pay attention, are forced to take notes, and are forced to revise the notes. Otherwise, they cannot remember what the lecturer says or what the professor says. But in the outside world, outside the lecture room, it doesn't work this way. Can you imagine you attend a talk? Would you actually take notes? Nobody take notes. When you walk away, either I remember or I do not remember. Okay, so you have to practice that to be effective in the real world. When you meet people in the lift, in the train, in the bus, at the restaurant, wherever, when you talk to them, in the end, can they remember what you say? Okay, so that's the first basic rule in public speaking is effectiveness. I will come to how to achieve the effectiveness. Okay, now to achieve the effectiveness, number one, look at, you must know what type of speech you are making. Okay, what is the purpose of you speaking? There are 3 or 4 basic purposes, but I will speak on 2 of them. One is a speech to inform. I only want to inform you something. The other one is a sales speech, a speech to persuade you to do something. So these are the 2 basic things, and you must know when you start. You must remember what Stephen Covey said in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Right? Can you remember habit number 2? Begin with the end in mind. So when you prepare a speech, you must begin with the end in mind. Now, if you're speaking to inform, in the opening, like Adrian or Dr. Ram, when you're speaking to inform, your opening is a roadmap. And you're telling people, I'm taking you on this journey, and this is the roadmap, the tour itinerary. I'm taking you on a tour, this is the itinerary. So that people are prepared to follow you on this journey, and these are the various places you're going to visit. I'm going to share with you 3 secrets of crafting a wonderful speech, right? So people know they are going to share 3, right? The first may be context. The second is content. The third is connectivity. Then if you say that in the first 30 seconds, the people's mind are prepped already. They are looking forward to these 3 stops of the journey. If you don't say that, then people do not know what to expect, and they do not know how to follow you effectively. Okay, so in the opening, your purpose is to tell them what you are going to tell them, so they know what to expect. That's the opening. Now I'll jump to the conclusion. In the conclusion, you got like 30 seconds, 45 seconds at most. what do you do at the conclusion? For speak to informed speech, your conclusion is summation. Summation means you do not introduce any fresh ideas, fresh information, fresh topics. You just sum up, this is what I've presented to you. Number one, connectivity. Number two, content. Number three, context, for example, right? So that people can remember. You got to repeat this thing a few times. So in the opening, you said it. In the conclusion, you summarize and you repeat. And then you think about what do you do in the body. Right now, if you have 3 main points, that's quite perfect for a 7-minute speech, right? Then if you want to have 3 points, you allocate 2 minutes for each point. And say, okay, number one, I'll talk to you about context. Why is context important, right? Then you explain to them and how you get the context, and because of people's experience or whatever, they can remember because of the context they can relate to. So that would be first point. Then you must transition. Now the transition to the next point and the next point is very important. If you don't do a proper transition, people do not know. The story just go on and on and on. There's no chapter 1, no chapter 2, no part 1, no part 2, no part 3. So it's very hard to follow the train. It's just an endless train. But if you break it down into carriages on the train, number one, I talked to you about connectivity. Okay, now that we are done with connectivity, I'll go to point number 2. Right. Point number 2 is about context. Then you talk about context. And after I'm done with context, now we go to point number 3. I'm going to talk to you about content. The content is this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. And then you're done 2 minutes for each of the 2 segments. And then say, okay, I've covered the 3 segments. Now I do a transition and say, okay, I will end my speech with a summation. And these are the 3 things that I've covered. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and you end your speech there. If you do that, you find that you have repeated the key points a few times. And when you have repeated a few times, like the way I do, nobody can forget. If you only say once, the train just passed a station one time, nobody can remember because the train just went past. Okay, so you must stop and stop and stop and repeat and repeat and repeat. So there's a speak to inform kind of speech, right? Now, there's the other type, which is a speech to get somebody to do something that they otherwise would not do. That's what Sean wants to do. Sean did a very good job, and I will help him to go to one level higher. Now, we all know what Sean wants. It's very clear. In the opening, he'll tell you there's this pandemic, you cannot leave the house, you lose your income or whatever. There's a bit of problem, but there are really a lot of opportunities. I'm going to tell you about the opportunities. In fact, I'm going to tell you about 3 wonderful opportunities. So from the very beginning, you already know what to expect. Because you know what to expect, it's easy for you to follow. Number 1 option is invest. What a wonderful time to invest. Things are so cheap, blah, 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 blah. So you cannot forget his speech about investing. Number 2, upgrade your skill. There are a lot of free courses you can do online, blah, 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 right? So, and then number 3, what is it, number 3? I can't remember, I'm talking so much. Okay, but that's how it goes. Okay. Then when he finished, he go to the sales part of it. And then he give you the, these are the 3 things. I can help you with the cheat sheet on this. I can help you with this. I can help you with that. And it's very interesting, very exciting. And then say, but I cannot do it now. This is my phone number. You need to call me and I can help you. That's a very good technique. So how do you make this even better? Now, when you have to get somebody to do something, you must have very strong emotional content. It is very different from a speak to inform, a speak to instruct, a speech to explain things, right? This is a speak to persuade. The underlying thing to make it successful is emotion. The emotion has to be very, very strong. Now, in the opening, you ask yourself, what emotion do you want to invoke? Right. Now, Harry is very good at that. His opening is fantastic when he teach his classes. All of you must attend when Harry invite you, especially the Saturday class. I learned so much. See, the opening, you must engage the audience. So Harry's method, and I find it's a wonderful method, is raise your hand if you want to have more money than you can ever spend. Nobody raise hand? Yeah, okay. And that's the first question he will ask. Of course, he asks it differently, but I'm asking it my way. Raise your hand if you want to have more time for your loved ones. Thank you. Raise your hand if you want to be able to do this within 3 months. Thank you. And some of you have not raised a hand. Raise a hand if you will not raise a hand, no matter what question I ask you. Okay, so this is how Harry engages the audience. But there are many different ways. You can use Harry's template, or you can design your own. There are many people, I will not discuss that, but I need you to know that you must engage, you must get into their world, and you must get them into your world. Then you can engage them, then you can start your story, right? Now, in the body of your speech, what emotion do you want the audience to feel? Okay. Now, you must know there are only 2 emotions that gets people to do things. One is to avoid a loss. The other is to gain a benefit. Right? So there are only these 2. And in your speech, you got 3 sections. The first part is to tell them how wonderful life is when this person do what I asked him to do. If he didn't buy this insurance and he passed away, his little child and the wife would not have money, would not have a home, got no education. But luckily, he bought the policy from me, and see how wonderful the family is despite the tragedy that happened to the breadwinner. So this is a very positive emotion, and people say, oh, I want to have this benefit. I do not want to lose this benefit. So that's the first emotion. The second emotion is the avoid the pain. So where's the pain? Look at this Mr. A. I talked to him so many times. I offer him such a wonderful policy. He want to think about it. But unfortunately, he got a car accident and he passed away. Then what happened? The widow, the children, they are left without money, no pocket money, no school money, no this, no that. It's a terrible tragedy, right? So people can feel the pain. They can feel the suffering. And then they feel that, oh, I don't want this to happen to me. I want the policy. Then the part 3, you tell them another story about how people benefit so that it end up with the positive part. So people in their mind, they can compare and contrast. I think I better listen to this guy, because you see what happened when this person don't listen. What happened when these 2 persons listen to him, right? So they want to avoid the loss. They want to gain the benefit. So you should be able to close a sale at that point, but it's not good enough. You got to go to the conclusion. Now, in the conclusion, for a speak to persuade speech, what is the emotion you want? Can somebody tell me what is a primary emotion you want at the conclusion?
Pain, pain, pain.
Urgency.
Urgency, Shona. Okay. Now, this is a one-time offer. It's a very special price. The standard price is $10,000. But for now, because you are here and I like you very much, I give it to you at $2,000. But once this meeting is over, it's no longer available. So, and in fact, there's only 3 more seats left for this event. If you want, you could take it within the next 1.5 minutes and the clock is counting down. So there's a creation of urgency. If you don't take it now, you're going to lose it, right? Now it's no good having people persuaded, but they do not take action. You want them to take action, you want them to do it now. So if you don't sign on now, it's no more available. In fact, the seat is taking up so fast. As I talk to you now, I told you 3, now there's only 1 more left. You want or not? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, so the conclusion, you must create that urgency to act. It's no use going on the sales presentation and come back and tell me, oh, Mr. Gay, I did a wonderful presentation. The prospect liked the product very much. In fact, he's going back to talk to his boss. He's going back to discuss with the wife. He's going to check his bank balance. When a person say that, that means you have failed. As a salesman, no matter what they're selling, you want to close a sale. You don't want to come back and tell me, boss, I'm so good. The guy liked me so much. He even bought me lunch. He bought me dinner. But actually, he didn't buy anything. Then you fail. Okay, so this is the takeaway for this part of the training. I will move on to another part, which is every one of you who participated, whether as a timer, as an MC, as a speaker, as an evaluator, as a whatever, closing address, opening address, these are all your training, right? You are all under training. So every time there's a meeting, please volunteer, because each time you speak, whether as an opening address, a closing address, as a test master, as whatever, you are actually practicing. And in public speaking, you do not want to be the one who know all the theory. Harry can share all the theory with you, but it's no use knowing all the theory. You want to be a practitioner. You look at Harry, he's a true practitioner, right? In 3 months, 3 weeks, he have mastered how to use the Zoom so effectively. But it's no use telling your friends, I'm very good, I know all the theory of public speaking, but actually I cannot speak. I can explain to you what you have to do, but I cannot do it. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the academic who can teach you, give you a master's degree in marketing, in business, in whatever. But you cannot do business, you cannot make money. Then that's not what we want. That one is academic, these are the professors. Just like you don't want a law professor who can teach you all the law. Right? You are looking for the lawyer who can fight the case in court and win the case for you. And you want to be that lawyer, not the one teaching law in the school as a professor. So our training here is very different. We want to be the practitioner, right? So you want to be the kung fu fighter like Bruce Lee. When you meet somebody you want to fight, you don't want to stop and think. You just want to do what you do instinctively, naturally, and you want to win every fight without having to think about it. In fact, Harry gave you a very good example about riding the bicycle. Can you remember? Can you remember? No. Harry, you have failed. Nobody remember you talk about the bicycle.
Yeah, I share. Okay, who remember?
I remember that you mentioned about riding a bicycle and also the car. I think you said it's just like, yes.
Right. Okay, Harry, you're effective with Shauna. Well done. Okay.
So, this is a skill. It's a skill. Public speaking is a skill. It's not like I was born good in public speaking. The better you do it, the more you do it, the better you become. Same like you ride the bicycle. When you start to ride the bicycle, you couldn't do it. But then you try so many times, and you did it so many times that now you ride the bicycle and you don't even think it. Same like driving. These are skills. The only way that you can get better at the skill is by practicing. Like for example, this is true story. When I enrolled like Toastmaster 3 years ago, I want to do every single role, because I want to practice. So it's no magic in this. The more roles you take, the more you volunteer, And the more you show up to those meetings every single day and you take as much road as possible, that's the faster that you're gonna get in public speaking. There is no science behind this. It's just practice.
Thank you, Harry. I totally agree with Harry. How many of you can actually ride a bicycle? Raise a hand. Okay, good. Harry, as I didn't know you ride bicycle in London. Okay, I tell you, can you remember when you first learned to ride a bicycle? Right, you cannot find your balance, you fall many times. Sometimes you skin your knees, sometimes you skin your elbow. Sometimes people laugh at you, sometimes you laugh at yourself. It's very difficult. And this is exactly what we do when we walk into Agora and we try to speak, right? We fall, we fumble, we hurt ourselves. Sometimes we feel people laugh at us, even when people are not out laughing at us, but we just feel like that, right? It's very painful. So many people, in fact, give up after falling once or twice or three times. It's too painful. So now you go back to your learning to ride bicycle. If you give up, you will never ride the bicycle, right? So if you persist, one day, suddenly, you find that, hey, I can find my equilibrium, I can balance, right? I can ride without falling. Can you remember that wonderful moment? And public speaking is just like that. One day you will also find that, hey, I can actually speak on stage. Hey, I'm not frightened anymore. I feel so comfortable, right? And that's what is going to happen to you when you're learning to speak in public. Now, what happened after you learn to ride the bicycle? You will realize that you have to focus very tightly on the bicycle. You got to think of how you grip the handlebar, how to pedal, how much to turn here, how much to turn there, how to stop the bike. Your mind is all on the bicycle, right? And that's what you will experience when you're learning to speak. Okay, if you're learning to speak, you're thinking of what do I do at the opening? How do I use my body language? How do I use my voice? Remember, Harry taught you about the 3 different voices. About the authority voice, about the wise person voice, and about the speaking from the heart voice. Yeah, we'll be thinking about all this, and it's very difficult, right? You got to think about the content, you got to think about the body language, you got to think of the voice. It's just like you're riding the bicycle. You got to think of this and think of that, and you have to focus very much on the riding. Now, one day, without you realizing, if you continue to ride, you find that, hey, I can ride without gripping the handlebar, pressing the brake, and thinking how hard to pedal anymore. It becomes natural, right? And if you continue to do that, one day you'll be like Harry. You can ride the bicycle without even holding the handlebar. Can you do that? Right? You can ride without holding the handlebar. Some people can ride even with the eyes closed, right? One day, your public speaking journey will become like that. Okay, it will become like that. So think of your public speaking journey as your riding bicycle, like exactly what Harry tell you. You just practice and practice. In fact, when I tell you earlier about becoming the practitioner, and Harry told you the same thing about becoming the practitioner, you must know, where does the word practitioner come from? If you don't practice, you cannot be the practitioner. Correct? You don't want to be the academic, you don't want to be the theoretician who knows all the theory, who knows all the academic theory. You want to be the practitioner. So you practice. And practice as often as you like. Whenever you have half an opportunity, volunteer. Volunteer, because that's exactly what you need to do. Volunteer. Because in the end, like world champion of public speaking, Darren LaCroix, my good friend from United States, his tagline is stage time, stage time, stage time. The more stage time you have, the better you will become. The less stage time you have, very hard to improve. Okay, so these are the few key things. Okay, I got many other points, but I don't think I want to cover all of them. I think if you can remember this few, and then next meeting, we cover a little bit more, we will make a lot of improvement after a while.